Welcome, Internet, to the Play Some Video Games podcast. It's your boy, Dat Ninja Dev, joined as always by Donnie, Eat the High Breeze.
Yo.
And of course, Delvin is still MIA, dealing with some family stuff. Sending him all the good vibes, all the love, all the prayers, all the support, all the stuff. Just reach out to that man and just let him know you're thinking about him and you hope all is well.
Yeah, definitely.
Donnie, what's up, man?
Hey, how are you doing, Donnie?
We had a CAD upgrade that totally went awry today, so I'm
CAD.
going. Yes.
I thought you said cat. I was like,
Oh, no,
what?
No. CAD. Yeah. So
CAD. Yeah, CAD, that'll do it to you.
yeah, it totally screwed up everything. Did an upgrade that didn't work well with the MDT software, and we had 500 MDCs that could not log in. So
Can't connect.
yeah. And of course, we find this out during shift change.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's been a day. I'm fucking exhausted.
I took the day off.
I mean, that was
sorry.
good. I wish I would have done the same.
We worked elections yesterday.
Oof.
Didn't go like super well. Crazy thing, mate. You know this, our listeners may not. I work all the elections. Elections open at 5. I have to be at the warehouse at 5. The warehouse is an hour from me. I'm usually waking up for election day like 3:30 in the morning. Do you know that I came home, obviously played Hellblade straight through, stayed up to almost 5 in the morning.
Good God. So you've had like no sleep.
I went to sleep. I took the day off and I slept from like 5 to 10 and I got back up. Yeah. But like just didn't want to sleep. I'll talk to you. I mean, yeah, we can talk about it. I don't know how far you want to get into everything, but like I got to get a new, I bought a new computer, a new laptop.
Another one?
The RAM in my Chromebook failed.
Oh no.
It's under warranty, but it's like one of the shitty warranties that have like a really bad track record of like, they don't repair it. Like they lose it. They don't send it back. I've filed the claim. They're going to send it to me, but like I was working the election and my Chrome tabs kept crashing. Like every time I tried to do anything, it just kept crashing. And I'm power washing and trying to set it up and everything, and hours of time go invest into it. And I call Acer and they're like, yeah, the RAM is going bad or it's not seated correctly. And it's soldered RAM, soldered a motherboard.
You're screwed.
So I was hoping to get some money back, but the warranty people, they're like, yeah, we'll just replace the whole motherboard. I'm like, well, that seems like a waste of money and effort, but sure.
Yeah.
$250 Chromebook, sure, replace the whole motherboard. Don't send me another one, anything. Just get in there and take the screws out. I don't think they're going to. I keep reading on Reddit all these stories. They're like, yeah, I sent it to them, and 3 months later, they sent it back to me and said we couldn't fix it or whatever. And I'm like, oh, God. So
I mean, what is there to fix if you're just replacing the motherboard? Like that's
I
just
don't know, man. I don't know.
Jeez.
So I stayed up all night, like not just researching a laptop, but like trying to find one that I wanted to buy, like in my budget, you know, because like I don't want to drop $1,000 on a laptop.
Yeah.
I have admittedly become like addicted to like high refresh screens.
As you should.
So like I have a laptop. I have a fine Chromebook over there. It's got an i5 and 16 gig of RAM, and I mean not a Chromebook, a Windows machine. And like I want a Windows machine as like a daily carry. I don't think I want to do the Chromebook. And
really?
yeah, it's for dumb reasons, but like I've run into several times where like I'm having trouble with like using Office 365 via the web, and I'm having issues like the click share at the building doesn't work in the Chrome, you know, like just little new stuff like I don't want to carry. So I want a laptop that has a really high refresh screen and at least 16 gigs of RAM, if not 24. You know, I don't really care too much about native gaming. It'd be nice, but like it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because I'm happy to cloud game and do ROMs and emulation stuff anyway. Anyway, long story short, I think I found a good one. It's a 15-inch gigabyte. I think it's got like a mobile 3060 in it. $400.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'm gonna go pick it up in the morning. 400. That seems pretty good.
That's not bad. That's really good. What's the
16 gig RAM,
refresh rate of the screen?
144 hertz.
There we go.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bright screen. I think it's a pretty dim screen. So anyway, like my manic brain, when I wasn't like eating all of the Hellblade hype, my manic brain was looking at new machines and
Laptops.
figuring
Yeah.
how to figure it out and what to do. And all I just generally was like up, like I'm not, I always say manic. It's clinical. That's a real thing. I'm not
Yes.
like exaggerating.
It's the real thing. Yeah.
But like when I get that way, it's never like, I'm never like, oh, I shouldn't be this way. It's just, I'm like, I'm not going to sleep. I go sit in bed and I'm like, I'm not going to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm wired. Like my brain's kind of going. So that was me last night. I was just hanging out. So yeah, long story short, I took the day off instead. Like I was like, fuck it.
Nice.
I worked elections. I'm done. Not today.
Hey, that makes perfect sense. Me, I like my sleep. I need my sleep. I've realized that if I don't get almost 8 hours, like I just feel like shit. Like
I get grumpy with people. I get agitated and short with people. And I'm already not like the most welcoming, of bedside manners.
Yeah, I get real bad with my kids, so I've been trying to actually go to bed at a decent hour, just so I'm not a complete asshole to my children because I'm already irritated from work-related things, and then I get home and I'm just like, I just put in 8 hours. I don't want to do stuff and go play with you, Hudson, because no. But I realize like it's just because I'm fucking tired. I gotta get more sleep. So
yeah, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
So pretty good at the moment. Feeling good.
Nice. Well, I haven't played shit because I just haven't had time, and I've been trying to prioritize sleep. So, there was this game that came out this week called Hellblade II. I mean, it's making all of the headway, all the ways, just good or bad, love it or hate it, it's out there. So, I know you played this game. I think straight through. You said, yeah,
straight through. I sat down and finished the whole thing. Couldn't stop.
So why don't you give us some of your thoughts on Hellblade 2, minus all the rigmarole?
I got a bunch.
Donnie's got notes.
Yeah. How do you want to do this? How do you want to thread this needle? You
just let's start with just like your hype leading into it, and then you just how you felt as you were playing, and then how you felt coming out of it before we get into all of the media surrounding it.
That's good. Give me some structure. So going into it, has been documented in our podcast the last few weeks, is skeptical, hesitant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seemed like Xbox was really kind of sending this out to like get over it. I thought it'd be good. It's because I have a lot of faith in Ninja Theory.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it almost seemed like they just wanted to get past it. And I'm not talking about the lack of marketing, which I don't agree with. That's been like a trendy thing.
Really sad.
Hellblade's been marketed. Like I've seen the Hellblade stuff. I'm not sure what people mean by marketing. Like I'm not sure, like, do you need a commercial on Amazon to account for marketing or whatnot?
I think it just feels like they made more of a big deal of Redfall versus Hellblade.
That I agree with. No, I agree with you. I do think they made a bigger deal of
Redfall.
But like I have seen people, they're like they'll point to I don't mean to like pull up. I wanted to pull it like a Nintendo game. I don't have a good one, but like a PlayStation, they point to like a Spider-Man or God of War or something.
Mm-hmm.
Those are gigantic games. They sell 15 million copies. Hellblade's a niche title. You know, I know it's a first party release and it's been, it was announced with the console. It's a niche game. It always was. So how much marketing do you want them to spend on something that at best is going to sell a few million copies? I think that's a part of like the marketing debate, but I think they've marketed very well, or not very well. I think they've marketed it plenty, and then maybe a better way of putting it. They've had 2 entire like showcases about it. Right.
That's true.
Both of those were not successful. You got people bitching about the game more than excited about it, but they had those events. They tweeted about it, right? Like they've done the market. They've had
it exists. We know it's out there. It's coming.
Exactly. So I worked elections. I came home, got home around 2:00, and I stayed clear of any reviews, any not impressions, because I shared reviews in the Discord. Just because that's what we do on marquee releases. I didn't read any of them, but like you see the headlines, you see the headlines and I tried to share like what I thought, like I always do, like, this, but our listeners may not. I always try to share like an eclectic mix. Like I don't grab like, I try to grab like the ones we know and love, Game Informer, Eurogamer, IGN, stuff like that.
It's all IGN at this point.
Yeah, good point. And I was like, okay, let's sit down to play. So I turned all the lights off in my basement. I got my chair ready. I got my pillow ready. I got my drink ready. I curled up to the desk. I already had the game installed. I put on my headphones and I clicked play, and I just stayed there. And and started playing, and it was about maybe an hour in, maybe after like that first kind of like chapter segment, where I was like, they did the damn thing.
Oh, buddy.
Game is it's awesome. It's incredible. I like an hour into the game, I was like, holy shit. For a lot of different reasons, not just the visuals, which has been, I think, mainly the main topic of debate. But just loving it. It is in every way more than I think I ever could have imagined.
Ooh, that's good.
From the first game. And we talked about this for a long time, years at this point. I definitely think Hellblade 2 has been miscast, both by Xbox and by gaming folks. You know, it seems like for a lot of people, they really wanted this game to be something else.
Right.
You know, it's not. It's Hellblade.
They want it to be God of War. It's not God of War.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but like they want it to be a different game. They want it to be something else. And I have remained true to that. I want nothing of the sort. I wanted Hellblade. Like,
I don't understand why you would think that if you played the first one, like, you know, it's not that.
And as somebody who loves the first one, I wanted that. And I was so surprised, not surprised, but like, no, kind of surprised at how much it is the first. It is Hellblade.
Like, happily surprised?
Yeah, like they just didn't really
pleasantly surprised.
They didn't alter it like really at all. Like it is just Hellblade. It's like the combat is very similar. The puzzles are very similar. What you're doing is very similar. Like all of it just feels right at home. And I was like, thank God. Because like what I was afraid of is like I didn't want Senua suddenly like collecting swords or power orbs, or you know, like I didn't want them to do something like that to Hellblade. Like I wanted,
just felt out of place for the game.
Yeah, like I just wanted, like, leave it alone, and they did. Like it has yet to be Microsoftified, right? It's just Hellblade.
That's nice. You know what's funny, just to kind of tangent on that, it's the same game, it's the sequel, it's more of the same. It's that, and that sometimes is what you want when you go back to a game. And it just reminds me of all the people that were complaining about God of War being more God of War. It's like, what the fuck do you people expect?
Yeah, like, I was thinking the same thing.
You're in the same world. It's a continuation. It's gonna be the same game.
So yeah, I was so into it and didn't stop. I played it straight through. I took a break for dinner and took a break for bathroom breaks. I think I watched TikToks with my wife for about an hour. The whole time, just paused on my computer and came back down to the computer and just kept going. And I was like, I can't. It was very enthralling. And I can't stop. Like, I don't want to finish this tomorrow, because that was the plan. The plan was like, I'm going to do 3 or 4 hours today. I'll wake up tomorrow, do 3 or 4 more. And like, once I was in it, I was like, no, absolutely not. This is happening today. And then coming out of it, I just wanted to share, you know, like I wanted to eat the hype. I wanted to share all my screenshots. I wanted to share all my videos. I wanted to see other people's screenshots and their videos. And I wanted to hear about what other people thought. And I watched Sean's review video, which I put in the Discord. And I just want to say now, if nobody hasn't watched it yet, you should. I think Sean's video is excellent. I think it's his best work he's ever done. Excellent. I also really love it because I think it's like, it's raw, genuine Sean.
That's the best
Sean. And not like, and I mean this in the best of ways, Sean. I really do. So please don't overreact or overread into this. Not like YouTuber gaming personality Sean, not like carpool gaming representative Sean. Well, it's just like, and it's where I'm just as much to blame as anybody else. There is everybody that like does these things will get into the moment where like you're doing the thing like everybody else does because you think like that's what's to be expected. Like, this is how a video game review is. And Sean's isn't that. And that's what I love so much about it. It's literally just Sean. Like, it's just Sean in front of his green screen, the game playing behind you, and he's reading his notes, right? And it's edited, like it's got cuts and stuff, but it's not like graphics 7 out of 10, sound 8 out of 10. You know, it's not that. and it doesn't walk through the same thing. And I love how honest it just feels. Very honest. I think I know Sean pretty well, and I think I can tell when Sean is maybe pulling back,
Right.
and he's not. And in one part and I won't spoil it. I want you guys to go watch it. But there's this one part in Sean's video where he's like, "Look, people are saying X, Y, and I just don't give a damn about any of that." And I'm like, "Yeah, because you
That's
shouldn't."
the Sean that I love. I love when
And
when it's just raw, genuine. This is who I am. This is how I feel, Sean. Those are the kind of reviews that I actually would rather watch or listen to. Just tell me how you feel. Like outside of all of everything else, like how do you feel about this thing?
Yeah.
Don't pander, don't curate, don't try to play to an audience or market. Just give me your raw feelings. And I feel like that is when we get like the best content.
so I loved his review, and I shared
Nice.
it, and I saw some of the other things that people said, and we can talk about them. Having beat the game, I will tell you that I think it's incredible. In my opinion, it's masterful. It's whatever you want to give it, a gold star, a gold coin, a 10 out of 10, whatever the fuck it is, 5-star, 5 thumbs up. This is the best video game I've played in years.
Nice.
And it's the best game that's been published by Xbox for me in a long, since Ori, for sure. Since Ori, this is the best one. And I think I would probably take this over Ori. I love it.
That's
Now,
awesome.
I don't feel like that maybe is a big surprise. I love the first one. I didn't love it that much, but I love the first one. This one blows that one out of the water.
That's awesome.
This one's just, it's incredible. It's so much, everything I like about the first one, but better. It's just improved. It's just, it's like the realization of the first one. Like if it had an unlimited budget, what could a Hellblade 1 have been? It's
Right.
this. This is what that is. So I love it. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I mean, you putting it in that category, I think what happens a lot, especially with the media, is it's like if it doesn't check all of these boxes, it just can't be a great game. I feel like any and every game can be a great game. There doesn't have to be this bar. It doesn't have to be a 70-hour multi-layered game to be an amazing game. It can be a 10 and be 5 hours. It can be a 10 and be 4 hours. I think we put way too much emphasis on length and things to do in a game. But instead of separating it out and saying, what is this game trying to do? And does it accomplish that? And I think we need to start looking at things more from the artistic side, because a lot of games are created as art. And we should treat them like that instead of these things to be judged and picked apart and completely ridiculed to the point we lose sight of what we're actually trying to get out of these games. And I think Hellblade is a perfect example of that. It's so divisive, so incredibly divisive. And it's just, it's crazy. But
I smile because you're setting up a lot of my notes.
Yeah, I'm just glad that it gave you exactly what you were looking for. I love it. I love it when you get that for a game.
And it's been a minute since I have. And I was thinking that to myself, like I've gotten so excited for games. Not that they've all been misses. They just haven't been. They haven't like been that. I don't know what the right word. They haven't been that impactful, like that. Just that hits you in every way. That overwhelming sense of joy that you get from a game. Like I loved Tears of the Kingdom. It's a great game. I don't like it as much as Breath of the Wild. I've said that piece. It was a great game. I played it, but I wasn't like, this is amazeballs. I'm so excited. Like it wasn't that tent pole that moved me forward. I have these tent poles throughout my life, and these are like the seminal games of my makeup. I think of Gears, and I think of The Last of Us, and I think of Uncharted 4, and I think of Breath of the Wild, and I think of Wind Waker. Like these are games that are like part of my makeup as a gamer.
Right.
Hellblade 2 is one of those now.
Yep.
Like it's there. It's on that pedestal wherever it is. Like, ranking doesn't matter. It's just, it's in that mix. When somebody asks me, Donnie, what are your favorite games? One of the first that's going to come to mind is going to be Hellblade. It's going to be Hellblade 2. I'm going to thank you. I'm like, oh man, Donnie, if I'm on an Xbox, what should I play? Ori and Hellblade. Like it's incredible. You've got to try them. I got a lot of notes I don't want to read them all because like I started writing down thoughts because I just had so many in my head today.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want to write these down so I don't remember them. And then I sat down and did that, and I wrote like 9 paragraphs. So I definitely don't want to read all of
Ooh. At some
them. So
point, we're gonna need to put you in front of a green screen and let you go.
yeah, I'm not doing to do that, but I want to like maybe pick and choose, or maybe read a couple at a time and see if you want to bounce off any of these. But
Okay.
So the first game, Senua is in conflict with herself. It's an internal story of her battling her own inner demons, right? This game is very external. It's the opposite of that. This game is a hero's journey. And unlike video games that we've known forever, literally when it comes to hero's journey, this is something we do in video games often. It's not so much about just becoming the hero, making new friends, becoming the hero, overcoming whatever the obstacle is. It's about the weight and guilt that she carries as she becomes the hero, the reluctance that comes with that. And then what those things do to her condition and how that impact. And that's like where the first game comes back. It's always haunting her. It's always there, right? So she has to deal with it and manifest in new ways. And I think that's incredibly creative as just writing. And creative is like one of the first things that I wanted to say about this, because we say often, and I'm going to try my best not to like just use this as a platform to counterpunch some other opinions, but I do want to, and this isn't meant to be a counterpunch, although I think it's going to sound like it. I've heard for a decade how we want more creative games, and that all the games feel the same, and that like we have like, you know, our very kind of accepted rubrics for game. Like this is what an open world game is, and this is what a first person shooter game is, this is a linear single player game. To me, this feels very creative in the way that like nobody would greenlight this game. Nobody would, like, if you're sitting down, you're pitching a game, you're like, all right, here's my pitch. We're going to make a game for 5 years that's going to be a technical showpiece for your entire business. And it's going to center on this woman's internal psychosis as she deals with these slavers and stuff. I don't think anybody's like, yeah, let's greenlight that. That doesn't make money. That doesn't do any of the buzzwords, any of the things that we talk about. Ubisoft doesn't want that. EA is not doing
like
that.
A hero story, does it?
Yeah, no, nobody wants that. It's very niche, you know? And it's just like, I know that's almost to be accepted because we know what Hellblade is, but like, they deserve some flowers here. We don't do enough job of like celebrating that. Like Xbox just gave them the money and the time to make their game, not Microsoft's game, not their version of that game, not the game that would help Xbox the most. They're like, no, we want you to make Hellblade 2, and they did.
Yeah,
and like it
artistic vision.
It is just Hellblade 2. Again, that's where like that comes back. They just made Hellblade 2. Nothing more, nothing less. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And like you said, like about giving them their flowers, like it's something different. Like finally, like how many times can we play the same hero story over and over and over again? Tell me something different. Show me a different thing. Like think about like the trauma that one would go through in a lot of these so-called hero stories. Think about the state of mind you'd be in with the mass murdering that you do as these heroes. Like there's just no way. So when you talk about like the weight and the guilt that she carries and all of that, and just the internal dialogue with the external factors, like it's such a different story. It's such a better place to take gaming. Like do something different. I can only be the mass murdering bro dude for so long. Like give me something else.
You've never played anything like it. There's nothing else out there. It is unique, and I mean that in like every sense of the word. It is unique, not like it's like something. It's its own thing. And you're right. And nothing against those other games. We've played, and I like those games.
Yeah.
But the way that it's so immersive to be in Senua's head, to hear her thoughts live in a real time. And I wrote this down. Here's what I wrote. See, I want to make sure I find my place. I feel like it's conditioning the player. I almost feel like I'm in a trance that I react and I think like Senua does. I anticipate what the voices in our head is going to say, how
That's
we're
awesome.
going to react to them. Right? Like, and I'm going to go off script here and bounce around a bit.
That's fine.
Because the point that I want to make here is that like the thing, and this is why I love the first game, but like this game more so, it just, there's a lot more of it. It feels like those voices are constantly talking. Like it's all the time.
More than before, because I feel like they're constantly talking in the first one. And just the
Way
little bit
more,
that I've played,
way
they don't
more
shut up.
dialogue. There's way more dialogue this time. Tons. And I think but there's external dialogue and there's internal dialogue, but it's like always happening. So there's like very few moments where I felt like there was very few moments where I was like making an opinion. It was almost like being made for me. And it's so cohesive with what the story's going, with what other characters are saying, like with the emotions on her face. That's where the photorealism really plays a part. It immerses you into those thoughts. It connects those two things together because you see the expression, the body language, the face, the facial expression, the emotion pouring out of her eyes. And it makes me feel that way. You know, like I become the character. It is immersive. And
That's awesome.
and I feel like I'm sitting there and as things are happening, I'm thinking something in my head that in her head, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, am I being, it's almost like, you know, like a magician will make people think of a number. It's almost like a magic trick. I'm like, are they doing this? Am I doing, like, how is this happening?
That's awesome. That is true immersion right there. That is probably the closest you can get to actual immersion in a video game possible when the things that are going on in your brain or you're seeing them on screen in dialogue. Like, that's crazy.
The weight of her battle and her struggle is a human one that connects to any player, I think, if you give it a chance to get in there, right?
Yeah.
Nothing against any of like the heroic or, you know, justice stories that were told in a video game. I think it's important for the medium to have those. But it's like, it's so much more personal, I think, than a story about like where you come from, who your friends are, who you have sex with, your gender, your skin color, because at the heart of this entire story, it's like, it's between your ears. It's the darkness that everybody knows, where you're left alone with your own thoughts, thinking about the worst things you've ever thought of and trying to wrestle with that. And did you do the right thing? Did you not do it? Because you've done something different. Are you even supposed to be doing? Are you even capable of doing this? I liked what I wrote about this. I'm just going to read it. I'm just going to read straight from the thing here. It's the talks that keep us going. It's the talks that tell us to stick with it or to fall to our knees and cry. We experience those with Senua as she has them. There's no game that puts me in the mind of the character better than that.
That is so well done. When I think about stuff like this, I think about one of the reasons why I like books so much is because you get the internal dialogue.
Yeah,
like
the internal monologue.
that is why I love books, because they feel so much more immersive, because you have so much more insight to why the characters are doing the things that they do, because you're getting to hear their thoughts the same way you have your own thoughts. So all the inner dialogue you have with yourself is being played out in game in a way that we don't do. Like, we don't get to hear Nathan Drake's inner thoughts. We don't know what Lara Croft is thinking if she's not saying it. But with Senua, you get to hear all of the thoughts, all of the things, all of the doubt, all of the just the nonsense that happens in your own brain, and you get to see her going through it. And what could be more immersive and more human than that?
Yeah. So I've got some thoughts here about the technical showcase, and I've got some thoughts about the gameplay. And then I have like some more wrap-up thoughts on the story. But since we're already talking about the story, I'm going to read those kind of out of order.
Let's go.
So if this is going to be like kind of like my kind of final thoughts, maybe that's probably what it's going to sound like. But I got 2 paragraphs here I'm just going to read. Ultimately, Senua's Saga is about the story. I feel so connected to her as a character because I'm thinking as her. I'm in her mind. I know all of the same anxious, second-guessing, self-loathing, doubting that goes through her head because I've thought those too. We all have. It's a very human thing on an individual level. You can all grade Hellblade 2 by breaking it down into little game review parts. You can judge the graphics differently from the mechanics, from the sound. You can talk about the voiceover. But I think all of that would be missing the bigger picture. The whole of Hellblade 2 is greater than the sum of its parts. Hellblade 2 isn't an essay you grade with a rubric. It's art. It's a painting. It's meant to be digested, pondered, remembered. For me, there's a difference. That was kind of like after I thought of all the technical stuff, and that's kind of like where I land with this game. And that's why I was kind of smiling when you started saying the things that you were saying earlier, because I was like, man, is he reading my notes? Because, yeah, as I step away from the game, having finished it, I understand why people are maybe saying some of the things that they're saying. But I think they are focusing on very specific parts to make a platform, to make a case, versus talking about the game as a whole, right? There's lots of, and I don't want to get too, I will save like the divisive thoughts for a moment, but like people are talking about aspects of this game and whether or not it's good or bad or whether they like it or not, and it's like, but you're not talking about the game,
right?
Like, what about the game? Focus about the game. Like, is this how you talk about other games? Do you only talk about Uncharted because of the platforming? Do you only talk about God of War because of the axe throwing? Like, or do you talk about everything? You know, it's like, I don't know what happened. And a goal of mine today was not to make like big blanket statements about people. Because like I kind of want to. So I'm going to try not to and like work my way around that. But I felt like for a long time, for many years there, we really celebrated and championed games that I think touch people on an emotional level and told a great story. And it was about that narrative adventure that like opened your mind up to different perspectives or different world. And I don't know, I don't want to say why suddenly, because I don't think it's a sudden thing, but like it doesn't feel like this game is getting its just desserts for doing that same thing that we've given others credit for doing. And I'm not sure why that is. I have like suspicions, but I'm not sure why.
Yeah, it's really weird. There definitely was this time when we were just like so excited about games that did something different.
Couldn't get enough of this
incredible story. And now it's just like all we care about is the graphics, what the frame rate is, and the is it 70 hours long? Is it huge? Is it sprawling?
I guess like the point,
do I have combat like Elden Ring? Like
some of the things I've heard about, and again, I'm not pulling idiots from the internet. These are good video game reviewers, personalities, popular people. I've just heard a lot of things talking about how the combat isn't good enough or the puzzles aren't good. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever really heard those sorts of things about games like this ever said.
Right.
Is that, have you? Is that just like, am I being like really biased about the game? Like, I don't ever recall anybody like harping on a style, like the thing that came to my mind, the Uncharted games, right? They all have those crate puzzles.
Yes, they
do. You got to like move the crate around to get somebody up to the next ledge. Yeah. I'm sure people have brought it up. I'm sure it's like a joke in a review. Like, and if I have to push another crate again, I don't know what I'm going to do. But nobody's like torn down an Uncharted game because it has crate puzzles.
Not at all.
Because the story and the character, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of the greater point I'm trying to make. I find it very interesting that people are like, this is why it sucks. Yep. And I'm like, that's strange. That's weird.
What's so funny is that's exactly how I feel about Uncharted. Like, for me, Uncharted's gameplay, I could take it or leave it. Like,
I think most people
literally playing the game just to get to the next cutscene because the story is so good. I don't care about the gameplay. Like, I'm having a good time and I'm in this world and I'm on this journey with these characters, and that is what excites me about the games. Like, y'all know me. I am a story-based gamer 1000%. Like, I want story over anything, and if you've got good gameplay, fantastic. But I'm here for the story. For me, Cyberpunk 2077 is more about the story than anything else. Like, that story and those characters just sucked me in to the point where, like Donnie, I want to just play that game nonstop. And to me, that is what is the true mark of a good game. When you are so invested in the game that you can't stop thinking about getting back to it. Outside of the gameplay, outside of whatever, like you're just so invested in this game that like you just want to get back to it. That's really what should be the mark of a good game for you personally.
So Dev, technically, dude, it's fucking nuts. Like it's amazeballs. It's incredible. Not just how good it looks, because it's gorgeous, photorealistic, 4K, all the buzzwords. It's not just that. Hellblade 2 is the embodiment, the realization of the UE5 tech demonstrations, the Lumen, the Nanite. Like, you remember we had that E3 right before the generation launched, and we saw these little snippets from Epic, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, when will games look like this?" Yeah, this is that game. Beautiful. That game starts now. And no shade against any other game. I have not played Forspoken myself, but I've seen Forspoken. It's not Hellblade.
You don't like this. No.
It's not like this. Dev, there's so much detail crafted into this world. Like the rocks on the ground have like their own shading, their own lighting. There's little bits of flowers mixed. It's not just like, I may not have the words to describe this accurately. We've all seen like video game landscape where it's kind of repeated and it's kind of the same. And I'm not saying that Hellblade doesn't have that, but it doesn't look like it has as much. Like it all looks very different. It all looks very purposeful. Like even down to like granular levels. Like I'm looking at rock formations and cliffs and I'm like, I've just never felt like, I've never seen it feel like this before. And I shared tons of screenshots that I took as I played, because like the entire time I'm playing the game, I'm literally in awe of like the visual spectacle that it is. And I do think that that plays into the immersion of the thing. And I will, this is where I'll start to counterpunch. A lot of people are like, graphics don't make a game. And here's the thing. I think that's true. Yeah. I do think that's true. But at the same time, a lot of those people were excited about Lumen and Nanite and the Epic Showcase. And they are excited about when games do show off something. Like we talked about all the time when these consoles launch, people are like, when's that next gen experience? What does that look like? Right. One of the things I wrote down, and I was going to pick out of this little paragraph here. Speaking of like what happened, when did we stop being like really enamored and excited about like the camera zoom over the shoulder that changes like from cutscene to gameplay? Remember that used to be like an amazing thing that happened?
Like, oh my God.
Yeah. This game does that so seamlessly, Dev. There's so many times where I'm like, is this cut? I don't know. I like, am I playing it? Like, you try to move the controller. Like, I'm not even sure if I'm in control yet or not.
Man, that reminds me of the Matrix demo when it shifted from the cinematic to the game. I had no idea that I was supposed to use a controller because I didn't know the cinematic had ended.
This game does that no less than 20 times. I'm not saying it's not like every start of the chat. It happens all the time, seamlessly between cutscenes. You'll be in a fight where you're actually doing something, goes into a cutscene, comes out of it, and you get hit, and you're like, "Oh shit, I need to dodge now." Like it happens. And like, here's the thing, Dev, beautifully. There's no on-screen prompt. There's no press the button, the control. There's no icon. There's nothing. They're like, fucking figure it out.
That's
like,
beautiful.
Pay attention. You know.
Put the popcorn down. It's time to play.
Oh, it's so, and obviously, I mean, it goes without saying. Not that it's not impressive. It goes without saying how impressive the audio design is. Being able to hear like the cries for help. This game is so much more. I think this may be a big reason why I love it so much. This game is so much more horror focused, I think, than the first one. Like there are times it's very much almost like a horror game. And I think the first one was too, but like different and more. There's a movie that I'm enamored with called The Descent. And I won't spoil the movie or say anything, but like this game has a lot of that in it. And I'm like, I was thinking about it often as I was playing. I was like, this is uncanny.
Would you say that this game is a cinematographer's dream?
Without a question. And here's the thing. it's so directed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually right where I was about to go with it, because I want to talk about the combat. And it literally is the next paragraph. I want to talk about the combat, because that's another thing. That's another counterpunch that I'm gonna levy here. People have, and I think this is a fair one. I'm not even saying that this is bad. This is a fair criticism. People are like, I want more from the combat. It is a light attack, heavy attack, parry, dodge game, just like the first one, exactly like the first one. But I do think people going, well, like if anybody, and I've seen it, but I'm not gonna, I didn't catch receipts, but I've seen it. For those that are saying like the combat is boring or rudimentary or anything like that, because you're pressing the same buttons on the controller, again, missing the forest for the tree. Like the cinematography in combat is wildly different. Yeah, you're pressing X, square, A, B, whatever to swing the sword. But like how you're visualizing and timing and seeing that sword swing is completely different. Combat is visceral, Dev, and human. It's heavy. It's deliberate.
Sinew is human.
Yeah. You don't swing. It's not DMC or anything like that. You are. The sword feels heavy. When you swing a heavy attack, you are open. You are vulnerable. But here's the thing, Dev. The camera is so much more zoomed in on Senua than it ever was in Hellblade 1. I mean, zoomed in. You're claustrophobic. Have you played it at all yet?
Not 2. I'm still just kind of getting through 1.
Here's my favorite thing about this game from a gameplay design. They've completely changed how you fight with multiple enemies. So in the first game, you had a few encounters where you would fight multiple enemies, and they would essentially like take turns. Like you might be like circled, or like they kind of stay there, but like one person would come, and then after you fought them, another person would come. This game's not all that different schematically. However, the way they introduce that second, third, fourth, eighth, 10th character is they're not just sitting there waiting for you. You don't see them. You fight one character and you're going, it's super zoomed in. The animations, like I said, it's directed. It's very much cinematography, right? It's choreographed. It's John Wick, and because you're zoomed in, Dev, when you hit somebody, you see their face as they feel pain as you cut into their fucking shoulder with the sword. You see the blood, you see the gore, you see the struggle that Senua has trying to fight. And then when you dispatch that enemy, another enemy may attack you from behind. Like when I mean by behind, I mean completely out of nowhere, off screen, boom, hits you. You fall to the ground. You get tackled. Maybe a secondary or third party character comes way across the screen in front of you fighting somebody else, and then another enemy hits you in the face. It's very frantic and chaotic, and it creates a sense of tension that was not there in the first game, where you're just kind of waiting and choosing and pressing and dodging. It's way more frantic than that in the second one, and it adds a world of difference to the combat. If you're like, it plays like the same one, it doesn't. Like you may press the same
mad
button.
at this combat. This combat sounds fucking awesome.
I loved it. And Dev, while I was playing it, I was like, Dev's going to love this. The parry window is way reduced than the first game.
Let's go.
Like it's way more like the parry is right there as you're about to get hit. So you've got to time those parries. And the enemies are different. There's an enemy, is enemy design like spoilery? You think people get mad if I told them? There's a dude that like spits fires, flamethrowers and shit at you. He sucks gasoline and blows at you. You can catch on fire. There's axe wielders. They throw axes, projectiles. There's different kind of enemies. They have different speed. They have different patterns. So you will have to take them on. There's a spear thrower, like fucking damn Trojan. It's got a shield. Like you will have to take them on and react to them. There's heavy dudes, there's light dudes, and like all of those combat. I'm not going to say it's not repetitive, because there's probably, 8 to 15 different types, and you're going to encounter them multiple times over the way. So you kind of get used to it. But at the same time, the parry window's smaller, the choreography is different, the presentation is different. So like at no time was I like, this is boring. I was like, this is incredible. This is so much better than the first one.
I'll never quite understand the complaints about like repetitive gameplay. Like every game is repetitive. Like they really just are. It's whether or not you like the gameplay loop. It has nothing to do with the repetition. It's the gameplay loop. Either you like it or you don't, because all games are repetitive as hell.
Yeah. So those are all of my notes before we started talking about the reviews. Let's get into some of the divisiveness. I've done some of it. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people. I have some issues with the reviews, not because people have bad reviews. I don't care about the score. I could care less. Is really like how this game is being talked about that I think is troubling to me. Not just because somebody likes it, to be clear, not just because of that. But I want to read you. I wrote down, and you can just do this as exercise if you want. I went to YouTube. I typed in Hellblade II review, and on the front page, in the first 15 videos, here are the headlines that I got. Hellblade 2 is a pathetic excuse for a game.
Jesus.
Left me disappointed. A regressive disappointment. This one's good. It has over 600,000 views. Another AAA game disaster. Bafflingly disappointing. And then I just put this one there because I do like his podcast, but I'll shout him out. Jeff Gerstmann from the Jeff Gerstmann podcast, the Giant Bomb guy. I'm not sure if you ever follow him. I listened to him the other day, and he said it's a bad video game. Like he just said, this is a bad video game. One that he said he wasn't compelled to keep playing after an hour. He's like, I don't even want to play it anymore. I don't even want to interact with this. It's so bad. And that's like the rhetoric that like, that's the stuff I don't like. Not just because I like the game. It's not, I'm not trying to defend the game is the point I'm trying to make. It's like the rhetoric I think is bad. And it's almost like, it's like flippant. Trying to think of like irresponsible maybe is the word I'm looking for.
God, yeah, I just put in Hellblade 2 review and got a lot of the same stuff. Just
see,
like, Jesus,
I'm not crazy. Like, it's not like I'm angry that somebody gave this game a 6 or a 7. Could care less, especially if you're making a good point. It's that this game is. It's the rhetoric that this game is terrible. You know, that's what I don't like. Because I think objectively, it's a good game. You know, for the reviews that are giving it 4s and 5, like, are you telling me it's worse than Anthem? It's worse than the Saints Row reboot? It's worse than Redfall? You think this game sits on the shelf next to Redfall? Because here's what I'm saying. And this goes back to the point I was saying earlier. If you're tearing this game apart because you don't like the sword swipe or the shape puzzles, and you're saying it's a 6 or 6.5 or a 4.5 or let me use one of these, a pathetic excuse for a game. If I was a listener of your channel or your content, I would think differently maybe about you as a reviewer. Because like it objectively is not that. It's a good game. I think it's an amazing game. You may think it's just an okay game. That's okay. But you can't tell me it's a bad game. Like I can't listen to that. That's an opinion I just don't think is acceptable. It sounds hot take. It sounds designed for attention. I understand that the algorithm rewards that. It's probably why we see so much of that on YouTube. But like, again, if I was a viewer or a listener of that outlet, I would immediately like ask myself, what did they think of the first Hellblade? What did they think of A Plague Tale? What did they think of Banishers? Did they like those games and not this one? Did they like the first Hellblade and not this one? Because it's more Hellblade. It's more of the same. It's prettier, it's different, but it's mostly the same. And then I would ask myself, if they did, what's changed?
Yeah.
Is it something this game has done, or is it the external factors, which I don't want to make this about because I think that's kind of the reason, but that like it's hard not to. It's hard not to address the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is that I think Hellblade is atoning for the sins of Xbox here.
Which is asinine.
It's carrying the weight of a console war. It's carrying the weight of a Tango. It's carrying the weight of a company. It's carrying the weight of Game Pass. It's carrying the weight of consolidation. I think there's all these other threads that may be at work here. And I'm not saying it is for everybody, because listen, if you just don't like the game, that's fine. Great. You don't like the game. Like I wouldn't argue with somebody that doesn't like the game. That's fine. But my question is, did you like the first one? Yeah. Do you like other similar games? Why this one and why now? Because and the reason I say that, there are a lot of outlets that loved Hellblade 1. Like it was a darling.
Yeah.
Game of the year contender. Outlets loved it. and now they suddenly don't like Hellblade 2, and that's strange. And I think
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It's okay to at least ask, like, it's okay to want some accountability there, or at least some understanding. Maybe understanding is a better word. I would want some understanding there.
And I really wish we could take the whole "I don't like it" out of it, because just because you don't like something does not mean it's not great. Like, especially if you want to judge it as a
Very
game.
well
If we're going based off just game, whether you like it shouldn't matter. Like, does it do the things?
Yeah.
Like, and when you look at like the Metacritic,
I'm totally fine with you not liking it,
yeah,
being a part of the review, to be honest with you. But I also think that like a game can be great and you not like it.
yeah, absolutely.
There's like you don't have to say the game is a regressive disappointment to prove you don't like it.
Yeah,
like the game can be good and you not like it.
Yeah,
I don't think
your title is just so clickbaity. It doesn't. It's not helping anyone.
I don't think Hellblade is for everyone. It's a walking sim with light action elements that's mostly focused on narrative. It's a narrative-based game.
I just created a new genre. It's called cinematic action adventure. That's what this is.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Genre.
But like, I love these games. I liked Banishers. I love Edith Finch. So like, to me, like, I don't understand. Again, going back to, I don't understand when we stopped liking these.
Yeah.
Is it when a different company started making them for a different console? Because like, it's hard not to. I don't want to come off that way. It's hard not to.
It's hard not to.
And I hope you hear it in my voice. I think you do, Dev, but I hope our listeners know I'm being every bit as genuine as I can be when I say that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Xbox podcast former host saying that. I'm not trying to console war. It's hard not to look at the totality of what's happening to this game, having played it, and not think that. Like, you're like, something's afoot here. Like, it is strange trying to connect the dots. Like, wait a minute. What's changed? What happened? And I said this last night in our Discord, and I think this will probably sum my thoughts up in total. Maybe we can move on. Or if you want to ask me more questions or say something else. But this is basically where I've been for a moment now with Xbox. And, you've heard it for the better part of a year, where I think maybe going third party might be in their best interest.
Yeah.
I think a game like this would get a different reception maybe if they did. And I hate that because of this. Yeah, I hate that, like, we are in a place, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. We are in a place where that might be a factor, but I think it is a factor. Like, I think it's almost inarguably a factor here.
Yeah.
If this game was a day one game that showed up everywhere for everyone to play, I think the reception would be different. I think they would like it more. I still think you would hate Xbox for closing Tango and buying like, I still think that would happen, but like, the weight of the world isn't on the next Assassin's Creed game for Ubisoft. Nobody questions the direction and viability of an entire platform and publisher based on one release when Take-Two or EA release the next game. Like, EA is not like, boy, we hope McElroy PGA Tour is good or we are fucking in this shit. But it feels like the chatter, the commentary, the story. Jeff has been doing the story of Xbox has been this for a few years now, where if this game doesn't single-handedly make up the gap in console sales and Game of the War years and Metacritic points, then it is a complete and colossal failure. And I just can't help but hating that right now, because I love this game so much. And it's a bummer.
Ridiculous.
It's a bummer when you're really into something. And it feels, I know this isn't true like globally. I'm not like whining about this, so don't take this the wrong way. There are people that love this game. It has good reviews too.
Yeah.
But it feels like the story of this game is how bad it is. And that puts you in a weird place. If you've never done it before, people, if you've never been on like the outside looking in on like, I love this. I have a few times. It's not like the most fun in video games.
No, it's not.
Ideally, we'd love to have that water cooler moment where we all love something, or not even all, but where like you would almost be allowed to love it without somebody like coming in and be like, but it's trash.
Yeah.
We want that Last of Us moment. We want that Uncharted moment. We want that Mario Odyssey moment, that Breath of the Wild moment. Like, people have these moments, the GTA 5 moment. It just doesn't feel like Xbox allowed to have that moment. And I think this game is deserving of that moment.
I agree. I think it's utterly ridiculous that because of what Xbox has done, Senua has to take the beating for it. It makes absolutely no sense. It was never supposed to be that game. It's not that game. It's an amazing game. It's a really good game that a lot of people will like and a lot of people may not. But it shouldn't have the weight of all of Xbox's turmoil on its shoulders weighing it down. It's just unfortunate. And it really sucks that there is the Xbox hacks. Like, it is really ridiculous that because a game is on a certain system, it is automatically
on PC
fighting uphill. Like,
but like,
so
yeah, nobody
ridiculous.
cares. And honestly, I don't even think that it's the console exclusivity as much as it's the logo.
Yeah, let's say the logo.
Brand.
It's Xbox.
Brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. And I'm not one to like blame the refs. I'm not one to pull the console war card often. But I definitely think it's at play here at least a little bit. I think it might be at play here a little bit with this one. And I would just encourage anyone, if you're on the fence, I just play it, man. Just give it a try. It may not be for you. Again, if you're not into walking sims, if you're not into the sort of games I read off, maybe a light adventure. If you don't want like a really emotionally heavy story, you may not like it. And I think that's totally fine. That's okay. And you can tell people you don't like. You tell me you don't like it. That's okay. But give it a try before you just take these headlines and these reactions at face value. Try it for yourself.
For Christ's sakes, it's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. Try it yourself.
Like, if you've got an Xbox or Game Pass PC, like,
I would hate for anybody to miss this.
To try it.
I would hate for anybody to miss this experience because of a podcast or a headline steered you off in the wrong direction. Give it a try. Yeah. I've played so many bad games. We talk about Suda Sixes and shit, and a lot of them I love. A lot of them I love. What's a terrible game? I suddenly just remembered. What's the terrible game with the cop in like Seattle and he keeps looking in the coffee, like the Twin Peaks fucking game? They had the sequel that was terrible.
Oh fuck!
It was bad, like real bad.
I mean, I didn't play it. Yeah, this is a you game. I don't know.
Those reviewers. I
remember hearing about it.
A lot of these outlets and stuff, and obviously I understand they're different reviewers and stuff, but a lot of these reviewers are the same. They may be at different places, but they're the same.
Mm-hmm.
They love that game.
Oh my god, what is it called?
and they're saying that this game is terrible. Like Jeff Gerstmann, this is a bad game, is what he told people. Like it really makes me second guess and question. Like anybody that has that take, I'm like, I'm going to say it. I think I would think less of your opinion if you told me that. If you're like, Donnie, Hellblade 2 is a bad game, I'd be like, okay, well, clearly you don't know what you're talking about. That's how I would feel. Like you can feel that way. And I'm sure actually those people would probably say, Donnie, I feel the same way about you. But that's how I'm feeling right now. And I just wanted to have that. It's kind of how I'm feeling. Because I'm like trying to read these things, trying to watch it. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck these people are talking about. Like, what did you play? What did you see?
Yeah, what do you want here? Yeah.
Did you just turn it on and be like, I hate this before you ever, like, why?
Yeah, and you know what it is. It's just also the internet. We just love to pile on the bad story.
It is.
But I will say, like Yarden just put in the chat, Metacritic is, with the critics, it's 81. There's 84 or something critics that I've rated, and it's way more positive than it is negative. And on Steam, of the 1,266 user reviews, it's very positive, sitting at 88%. I think the score
might be that way. I don't think the reaction is more positive than negative. I think the commentary is more negative than positive. Like the story, like the way this game will be remembered.
Like we always remember the bad, and that's really unfortunate.
That's the disconnect I was trying to draw attention to. There's a disconnect between like the review scores and the conversation, the story. Those aren't in parallel with each other. They're not in sync, and that's weird. And that's all I'm asking. Like in my head, I was like, why are these things happening? Like that was something I definitely perked my attention to after I completed the game. But Dev, with all of that said, I just like to reiterate it one more time, how incredibly impressed and happy I am that they did the thing. They landed the plane, dude. Honestly, I did not expect that this was like a possible outcome.
You were very worried.
And they crushed it. And my biggest complaint about the game is that I don't have something really expensive to fucking buy right now. Because I totally would. I'd buy a controller, I'd buy a console, I'd buy a statue, I'd buy a steelbook. Like fucking make shit, Xbox. Why did you suddenly get precious about plastic now?
Right.
You made a controller out of chocolate. What the fuck are you doing?
37 damn X-Men controllers.
Jesus, like there's a controller for everything.
There's not even an X-Men
this.
game. There's no X-Men game, but you're here making X-Men controllers. What kind of nonsense?
There's a controller for everything but this.
This is ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And I hope that this game sells well and gets played enough and gets rewarded enough that they realize that that was a mistake.
Yeah.
I did see that I think it's in the top 5 on Steam. I think on launch day it was like as high as 2 or 3. I don't know what that means in terms of big global sales. I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad thing, but like it also might just be there on launch day and maybe it falls off. I don't know. But like, hopefully it sells well outside of Game Pass too. And I'm going to say it. I hope it does come to PlayStation and Nintendo like the first Hellblade did. I want them to sell this game and make as much money as they can to warrant another game. There are rumors going around. It's been reported that they've already greenlit another game. I don't know what they're going to do. I would love to see more Hellblade. I wouldn't mind if they wanted to do something else. I hope this is at the end for Senua. She's one of my favorite video game characters. Yeah. And I'll leave it at that.
It's number 11 right now.
It's already starting to fall then. Mm-hmm. And John 32 says I'm playing right now. 81's ridiculously low. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to fight over the scores, but I'll just tell you it's one of my favorite games I've played in years. And I play a lot of video games. I'll let that speak for itself.
Sweet. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Donnie's unabashed takes on Hellblade II Senua's Sacrifice.
Play it. Oh, Dev.
Or Senua's Saga. Sacrifice is the first one, right?
It's Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm so glad I bought this PC.
Does all the things.
It did all the... I ran it out of the box. Frame gen. DLSS set to like super quality or whatever that is. Mm-hmm. And running at like 120 frames as I was like, this
beautiful.
Is stupid.
Yeah. I saw they had a patch yesterday for it.
So good.
Yeah.
It would dip occasionally like down to the 90s and stuff, but like super solid. Oh, and last thing. This just hit me. Fucking super solid game. Guess what, guys? The game works. It's not broken. Maps don't show up a year later. The shit, like, it's just done. Like, it just works right out of the... I had zero problems. I'm not saying that everybody won't. I don't know. I am playing on... What do I have, Steph? What is this? A 4090? 4080? I don't even remember.
4080. You've got a i7 13700K, 32 gigs of RAM, and a 4080.
I know that's a lot of horsepower a lot of people don't have. I had zero Dev, I didn't even have like a stutter. Beautiful. Not even PC stutter. I mean, it just worked. It was just beautiful. And no crashes, no stuttering, nothing misloaded, nothing crashed, nothing. I had no issues.
The little bit that I've read is that it runs really well on Xbox Series X2, like flawlessly. Like I heard it's great. It's 30 frames per second, but again,
more than anything else that we just discussed for an hour. That should be applauded and considered more than a bad game with the state that video games have been in. Are you fucking kidding me? We're to the point now where like, and it works on day one. Awesome.
Oh, wow. Yeah, nothing ever works on day one, so shit. No day one patch. Just, it works out the box like the olden days of yore.
It just worked.
Wow. Beautiful. I'm excited to get into it when I get into it. It's going to be a while because I'm just busy and then I've got vacation going to Cancun later in June.
There when you're ready.
So yeah,
drop everything to play it.
Yep, going to play the first one because that one never ran well out of Game Pass. It just did not run on my system for whatever reason. But I did install it. The Steam version runs great. I've got no issues with it. Able to turn it all the way up to 10 on pretty much everything and get 80 plus frames. So I will finish that and then jump into part 2. But I'm excited. I love a good story. Give me all the
I think you're
craziness
gonna
in my
like
headphones.
I'm very excited and almost scared because maybe I don't want to hype you up and maybe I miss. I hate to miss when I give you recommendations. I think you're gonna like the combat a lot.
I'm here for it.
Like
love
I
a
was
good,
thinking of you as soon as I started playing. I was like, oh, Dev's gonna like this a lot because
love a
I
good
was like,
parry.
this is kind of hard. I was like, Dev's gonna
Yeah.
like this a lot. There were a lot of times I was like, I kept blocking too early. And you just get like smacked away, and I'm like, God, this sucks. Like you really gotta time that thing out. And then when you start getting to multiple enemies where they've got like sequential attacks where they hit you 3, 4, and you got to do it in a row and in time. And it's I mean, I was like, I think Dev's gonna like this.
Stellar Blade will have me quite prepared for that because God, the timing windows on that game. Oh my God, and the amount of sequentials attacks and the off timing of them.
And you've played
That shit
Hellblade
can
1.
be
You've played it, right?
I've played it, yeah.
Yeah, so you know that like when you dodge and block correctly, then you get like her slowdown, right? So you got to do all that. Yeah, that's the system. That's how it works. It's good.
I'm here for it. I love that. That's
brutal.
how I play Ghost of Tsushima. I
It's
am just
brutal.
going to parry and dodge everything.
It's like visceral and brutal is what come to mind. Do you remember when the first reboot of the Tomb Raider came out? And how people thought about those kill scenes
When she died, oh buddy.
Imagine if that was just like the combat, like in gameplay.
People would lose their shit.
Like that's what it feels like. Like that's what came to my mind as I was playing, and I'm seeing the blood and I'm seeing the hat. Like you feel it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's heavy, it's crunchy, it's more gory than Tomb Raider. Like Tomb Raider cuts before it gets too bad. Imagine if that was just gameplay. That's how the gameplay was. That's kind of like that's how I would describe what's happening here.
Let's go. Let's go. It just adds a little bit more emotional weight to it.
That's edge. Yeah.
Let's go.
A lot of it. It's good.
Nice. All right, Donnie. I don't know how much news there is, but there is some fun stuff in here, so let's get into it.
Yeah, and since we did so much Hellblade talk, let's get a little buffer here to kind of reset everything.
Yeah.
Hey PSVG, this is Jesse from The Last of Us Part 2. What's happening this week in video games?
Thank you, Jesse. We got our EA college football trailer and our deets finally after a long road of documenting, chronicling what it was going to be. We now know that this game will come out and it will have Dynasty, Road to Glory, Ultimate Team, and Road to the College Football Playoff modes. So you'll be able to take your recruit from high school to the pros, or take a AA no-name team all the way to the national title if you want to.
Let's go Mercer.
Yeah, let's go Mercer. Road to Glory, players will live the life of the student athlete. With creative players, you'll have the ability to manage your schedule, your GPA, and your overall image as you work to become the Heisman Trophy winner. I love this so much. You will also have
manage your GPA. How does that work?
Yeah, they're going to give you like math questions. The square root of 9. You'll work to build your coach trust to get extra playing time, Dev, or even transfer if you aren't getting the time you feel you deserve.
You can hit that portal.
Hey, you better give me that starting job or I'm fucking out of here, okay?
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Home field advantage will return to the series. This isn't that surprising because Madden has this. But like this, your receiver routes will either disappear or the icons will get scrambled or they'll like shutter and change and all that. Teams will have traditional runouts, rivalry rituals. They'll have synchronized crowd chants. There'll be loudness meter in the game, which I love. I love that back then. That was an old thing, like in the early days. Those were the
very
best.
early days.
Yeah. It comes out July 19th. They are now over 13,000 players have signed on.
Nice.
And each team will have both a home and away jersey, as well as at least one alternate if they exist, with the promise that more might be coming post-launch. So I'm assuming they'll have some DLC things and things you can buy for extra editions and all that.
Nice. The college football dream is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I can't very excited.
For those of you who haven't been paying attention in our Discord, TPR is trying to start an online dynasty. So if anybody wants to get into the online dynasty and live out your glory days and take your team all the way to the title, hit up TPR. Him and Coach, I know, are all about that online dynasty stuff. So if you guys are interested, jump in and have a dynasty. I'd like to see who can get the title.
Since this came out, some insiders have said there will be no mascot mode. The guy at Insider Gaming that's been reporting on this, he says the gameplay will be much faster than Madden. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, when I saw the trailers, what I said in the Discord, it looks like Madden. Like, and I'm okay with that. That's kind of what we thought maybe it was going to happen. And even if that was what was happening, I'm so happy it's back. I could care less. Madden's pretty good. It looked a lot like Madden, like the way the players looked when they were moving and stuff. I was like, that looks like what Madden looks like. He said there would be a noticeable difference in game speed, and he said that they have reworked animations to make the option a very strong focus of this game. And I'm like, perfect. That's because running the option in Madden sucks. Like it's so
because everybody's
robotic.
too fast.
No, it's just robotic. The way like the players move and the way you make the read, it's very binary, you know. And like I don't like that. Like you want that college football feeling. It's got to be. I always describe it as arcadey. I don't know the best way of describing it, but like,
arcadey is right because you know that's what they do in college football because the game speed of players is so drastically.
It should be fast and smooth, and you shouldn't be like. I read the defensive end, and based on what he does, I do it. Like you should be able to like, but maybe I can get around him. Maybe I can't. Maybe I can.
Yeah,
that's what made those games differently, and I hope they get back to it. I hope they do, because it won't feel right if they don't.
Look, I just need them to have a throwback mode and let me get Vic from Virginia Tech, and let me just.
Well, they have the Madden Ultimate Team where they say they have legends and stuff come back.
I mean, look, that was it wasn't my first experience.
The Ultimate Team's going to make them so much money. Dude, it's going to print money.
Ridiculous amounts. Especially if they can actually get legends. And I mean, they should be able to pay them.
If you get like Archie Griffin and OJ and Vic and shit, like people are going to go bananas. I don't know if they can, but if they can, you know, Reggie Bush and Leinart and shit, like those dynasty type players, the U. Yeah. You get the 2000 U, get the Hurricanes in there, like people were going to go fucking nuts.
I got to imagine it shouldn't be that hard to strike that deal when you already have ends with the NFLPA.
Yeah, you could just like add money to it.
Like, let's just figure this out. Get these legends in here and do more with the game.
I would, if it were me, I would roll them out like in era, like in special promotions. So I could do them like team by team. I'd be like, this month, 94 Colorado, baby, let's go. Yeah. You know, and like roll out the U and then roll out the Ohio State. Like I would make it a thing.
Do it like they do with the seasons in Madden, because every season in Madden is like a different type of a different team, a different era. So do the same thing.
I'm not going to play it, but it could be big.
I know.
I'm never going to touch it, but it could be big.
He's like, look, I'm going to be Mercer until I get the Ohio State job, then I'm going to trounce everybody.
You know, I usually take multiple jobs on my way. I always have a plan. It's amazing how many times I've played the relatively same path. I kind of do it. It's just habitual, I guess. I will create my alma mater on the team builder. That's a thing team builder's back.
Yeah, team builder.
We'll be able to build a team on the website and import them into the game. So I will create Mercer whenever that opens. I will start there. I'm going to throw them in the Sun Belt or something. And then what I usually try to do is take a job in every conference before I take the Ohio State job. So like I'll do my West Coast stint, I'll do my like Midwest stint, and then so what I usually like to do is I like to go from my starting job to the MAC. Like that's first. Go to Bowling Green or Toledo or something, and then take that job to like my first Power 5 job. So I go to like Colorado or Washington State or some shit, Wake Forest, and then work your way up from there.
Nice.
So the hard part though is I never take another Big Ten job until Ohio State, and that's becoming problematic because there's so many damn schools. Because I usually do take the Oregon job or the Washington job or the Nebraska job, and all those jobs are now in there.
So, yeah, it's the Big 25. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's funny. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick said that he's highly confident of hitting Grand Theft Auto 6's recently announced launch window of fall 2025. So confident he went on CNBC to talk about how confident they are that game's going to hit next year in their internals last week. So, Dev, the question is, do you believe him?
Yeah, I actually do. Only because I feel like they've been letting this one cook for a while. And apparently they had a $25 billion loss or some nonsense I saw. So I think they've been letting this one cook for a while. We got the teaser.
It all leaked. We saw that.
Yeah.
So they have been working on it a long time.
They've been working on it. So I think.
Crazy fact. The last new GTA game, GTA 5, released longer ago than the last NCAA football.
Yeah. 2013, right?
Isn't that wild?
insane. It's absolutely insane that
We're
we've been
talking about
playing
like
GTA
college football's
5.
back, and it's like we should be more excited that GTA is back. It's been
Right.
longer.
So yeah, for me, it feels like there's absolutely no reason they shouldn't be able to hit that date. The fact that like they've been able to let this cook and gestate for as long as it has, learn the ups and downs with GTA Online. I feel like it's going to be a banger. I feel like it is going to be the next gen experience that everybody has been looking for. We'll see if it melts these consoles or not, because that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But I do believe it'll be out next year.
I mostly want to agree with you. I think you're spot on the right path, and I think that's probably the plan. I'm still going to say until they announce the release, like the pre-order, the date, and all that, I'm just going to factor in a delay. It's just what they do. They almost always do it. So I'm still going to say maybe it's a slight push. Maybe it's like January, like maybe
What
just
did
a
they
little
say?
bit of a
Fall 2025.
I think that's what they said. Fall 2025.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe a year from this fall. So,
Yep.
yeah, we'll see. They still got. I mean, that's a good. It's still a little bit ways out. That's still like almost
it's
8
a
months
while.
out.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of dev time to wrap it up. So, I'm not going to be shocked if it releases in the announced time frame. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But they
Highly
almost always
confident
delay
in
everything.
fall 2025 release window. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. We're ready. It's time.
It is time. It is time. That's for sure. IGN Entertainment has acquired the Gamer Network family of digital brands for an undisclosed sum. That means that was it Ziff Davis, the IGN holder, now owns Rock Paper Shotgun, VG247, Dicebreaker, and Eurogamer, which would include Digital Foundry. Let's see, Push Square, Outside Xbox, Pure, like a bunch.
They own
Internet.
gaming media. That's they own gaming media basically.
Pretty much.
Weird.
What's the end game for that? Why?
I don't know. I was so like this didn't make any sense to me. Like when they always talk about how games media is dying, like all of that stuff is like kind of going away. Like, why are you acquiring it all? Like,
Why would you buy more of it? Especially when you're the leader. Why would you buy more of it instead of letting them go out of business? I'm confused. I really don't.
Consolidate talent? I have no idea. Yeah.
I'm a bit bummed. I shouldn't be because I don't really have a reason to. They haven't like announced anything yet, but I mean, we've seen it more than enough. Consolidation usually, I mean, acquisition usually follows consolidation, and I would imagine there's gonna be some of that here. I don't really consume a bunch of that stuff.
Me either.
Outside of Eurogamer, I'm probably a weekly user of Eurogamer. I use them a lot for our notes. I really like Eurogamer.
Me too.
Not necessarily for the staff. I really enjoy the website. I like the way it looks and the way it's laid out, and it doesn't seem to be as like noisy or entertainment ridden and stuff as like IGN's is and stuff. Like I haven't really used an IGN website in a long time.
Me either.
So I don't want to see one of the websites that I do like turn into that, but I don't know. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, it's really weird. Digital Foundry said they won't be affected in any way, but we'll see. But yeah, I also like Eurogamer. I like Eurogamer. I like Digital Foundry. I would hate to see them become more like an IGN. Like, no, thank you. We already have that. So,
could you see them like Digital Foundry stuff being put into IGN, like either cross publishing or like they just become an IGN sort of property?
I hope not. I could see that. I could totally see that. Let's buff the IGN stuff with the Digital Foundry and Eurogamer
good
things.
stuff from Eurogamer and put it over here. I could see that.
Yeah.
I wonder. It's weird because it's a media company. I mean, they're already kind of doing. Is this maybe an attempt to set them up to maybe start doing like live events? Like, could they become like a conference brand, like a?
I mean, IGN they have IGN Live,
but like on a bigger way.
Maybe. I just
because if they consolidate a lot of the media, then maybe it gives them a little bit more stroke to work with publishers, maybe take on that role that Jeff Keighley seems to be serving. Like maybe they can be a bigger player in that arena.
Maybe
Maybe.
Look, if it brings back E3, like an actual E3, I'm here for it. But I don't know, man. I just have to see what happens. I don't know. I have no idea where this may go, what it may turn into. It's just a really weird time. It's a really weird time in media.
I'm really surprised we still have, I'm gonna quote unquote traditional games media that they make money running a website about video games that gets ads. And the reason I say that is there's so many fan started resources that do such a great job. Mm-hmm. Like the idea that you would have like a corporate payroll for something like that is kind of, it feels like not with the times. Like I'm like, it doesn't seem.
I don't feel like anybody reads
sustainable.
Like a lot of people they'd rather watch a video. So like,
well, it's YouTube, it's Twitter, it's social media. Like nobody's really doing blogs.
Nobody's going to the website to read the articles. Like they're waiting for the YouTube hit.
So I mean, I guess that's probably a big part of like IGN. YouTube is probably a big part of their traffic, their money. Do you remember for the longest time, like IGN wouldn't put any of their video content on YouTube? They all had like their own embedded player with their own ads.
Yep.
That's when I stopped watching IGN, like probably like everybody else. I was like, well, I'm not going to do this anymore because I'm not going to sit here and watch this shit. I have YouTube Premium. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens.
Prince of Persia's second free update is out already. It's got boss rush and attack modes and new outfit and stuff. So if you wanted to see that, you can go do that. Windows Central said that Ninja Theory's new game has been greenlit. One person, some leaker on Reddit, said it reportedly it's Hellblade 3. Seen other people say it's a new project. I don't know. I don't even know if that, like, how much to believe that or be excited about it, because they were all there celebrating with Tango like 6 months ago.
Right.
So, like, we'll see.
I don't know what the hell y'all doing, Xbox. I can't trust y'all right now. Y'all leave a lot of trust to be desired at this point.
Yeah. Shift Up confirmed that it's looking into bringing Stellar Blade to PC, as well as developing a sequel based on how well the game is selling so far.
The game's great. That game is fucking great.
Microsoft has demonstrated how Copilot AI may be soon able to help players with games in real time. And Dev, I'm torn on this. I'm going to shit on it, and I'm going to say it reluctantly because there is an accessibility issue here that I think is great. Like, wholeheartedly. There's something here about in that realm, through that lens, this is great news.
Yeah.
There's also I've used Bing and I've used Edge and I have witnessed what the length that Microsoft has taken to insert Copilot into my life. And I can't fucking stand the idea of them putting this on a console. And I mean this in every bit of the way. More so than Game Pass going up, more so than studios being shuttered or games being canceled. Them forcing Copilot into my Xbox experience might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I have literally stopped using Edge, a browser I've used for the better part of a decade. I have stopped using Bing, a search engine that I get paid to use, because of the Copilot bullshit that they've been putting. I'm like, I can't stand this anymore. F it. I'll go back to Chrome. Like, it's so heavy-handed that like I'm going to open a tab, but my mouse just goes over the Copilot icon on my way, and Copilot takes over half of my screen. And I'm like, oh my God, it starts typing. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, no.
I hate you. And you can't disable it. And that's where I would be. If they try to do some Cortana shit with Copilot that I can't disable, Dev, I'm out. Like, that's it. That'll be it for me. I'm like, I'm done with it. I'm not using this anymore.
Yeah, no, thank you. Keep that crap out of my games. I don't need it. Like, let me just play the game. I get the accessibility thing, but like the way Microsoft heavy-handedly drops it in is not cool.
Did you see their whole little keynote was all AI? It was called that, the Microsoft AI era or whatever. They have like a whole new footprint, like a whole new campus dedicated to AI development. Like, this is their whole thing right now is AI.
Yeah, my city manager's office is constantly hitting us up like, what can we do? Yeah, you see, my son just
That was wild.
Creeping in.
Somebody
Get
creep
outta
that.
here.
Somebody clip that creep. Somebody clip that. That was
outta here.
hilarious.
All right, go.
Yeah, I don't. You remember? You don't remember because you didn't play it, but everybody hated Navi in Ocarina of Time. Navi, the
I
little
played
fairy.
Ocarina of Time. I know who
Hey,
Donnie is.
hey, listen,
listen.
hey.
Yeah,
That's all I hear when I hear AI coming to con. I'm like, oh my god.
dude. Same. But yeah, my city manager's always like, "How can we get AI?" I'm like, dude, we can't even get things working properly. Stop with this AI nonsense. Like, we are not there yet. Get it out of my life. Get out of my
trying to take
consoles.
our
No,
jobs.
thank you. Right.
That's all it is.
No.
For not everything, but for a lot of, especially like city managers and executives, they're like, how can we reduce labor? Like, how can we put AI in this
Right.
stuff? So I don't like
ridiculous. I don't like it at all. No, thank you.
And my job's going to be on the chopping block. Nobody's going to need me once AI figures out how to do shit. V Rising will be coming to PlayStation 5 on June 11th. That's that Vampire. I want to play that game. The game looks up my alley. I'm not sure why.
I have not looked at it because I am so tired of vampires and shit. So thank you.
Like Vampire Diablo, I think. Every time I see it, I'm like, looks cool. And I'm not sure if it's like, is this like a game that's not for me, but like I just want it to be? Or is this actually for me, you know? Like I have those sorts of games. Like I want the Division. Like I want to like the Division.
You want it to be for you. It's not for you.
Right. But I'm not sure if it is. And that's kind of that's why I haven't played it yet. I'm like, I don't know. Jason Voorhees and Agent Smith from The Matrix arrive on Multiverses when the game relaunches next week on the 28th.
That's cool. Why Agent Smith but not Neo?
Maybe they don't have the stroke for Neo. They can only afford Agent Smith. I don't know.
What do they need to afford it? It's
Maybe
their IP.
Maybe they're saving Neo for. I don't know. I that was in there for Delvin. That's the only reason I put it in the show.
Yeah, I'm
very interested to see what Multiverses does, if anything. Probably nothing.
Right.
Probably nothing.
I don't want to play as Agent Smith, but I'd play as Neo.
Yeah, Trinity. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has begun teasing their next game. Dev, did you see this? I posted the link in the thing. There's a website called thetruthlies.com.
Yeah, I saw the link earlier this morning. I was like, oh, no.
TV channel, and you can change the channel and get these little teasers. I am kind of getting pretty hyped for it already.
I have never played any of the Black Ops games. I've only played
the trailers?
Modern Warfare. No.
So they're very like Watch Dogs-y, like anarchistic Far Cry 5 kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here for that. It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So kind of like an InfoWars type shit.
If it wasn't a first person.
It's not gonna be like all hackery, but like it looked very like militia, like urban malicious kind of, uprising type stuff, which
I heard
haven't really had like a whole lot
Gulf
of.
War?
It's supposed to be set like, in the Gulf. I don't know if it's in the Gulf War era, but like I think it's supposed to be set in the Gulf area. Okay. I don't know yet. That was the rumors. There'd be something. Because
last one was what, Cold War?
Cold War.
Last Black Ops.
Yeah. And I like that one, Kurt Russell Black Ops. It's too short. I liked it, but it was way too short for what it was. Like I wanted a lot more. Oh, we didn't talk about Hellblade, right? Short game. I finished in 6 hours. I did want to point on that. I couldn't imagine that game being longer. It's a long, like emotional, like you're gonna go places with it, and it's like It's kind of exhausting. Like you're gonna be kind of beat up by the like it's a long 6 hours for like if you're in, and ultimately if you're into the story. If you're not into the story, you're not gonna like the game. If you're into the story, it's heavy, and I think 6 hours is about as much as I can have. I couldn't imagine doing 12 hours of it. Like if you doubled that game, like I don't, it's not padded. Like it's linear. It's straight. It's directed. That's what I meant by directed. It's very much like articulately crafted to be exactly the way that it is. Black Ops, though, I was having crazy fun, like this crazy Kurt Russell type character. They're like all kind of turning on each other and shit. I was like, I could use like way more of this. Let's go fight more bad dudes. It was kind of like a buddy cop, fun. And it's Call of Duty, right? It's not the same thing at all. So yeah. Speaking of Call of Duty, some Call of Duty leaker, the data mine stuff and all that. So he said on Reset Era, which was then picked up by Insider Gaming, which they then corroborated, that the next Xbox, the next console, will launch in the fall of 2026 alongside that year's Call of Duty. So
interesting.
the landscape that we're currently looking at based on rumors could all be completely false, so take with a grain of salt. PlayStation 5 Pro launches this fall. Next generation Xbox launches next fall. So how do we think that works? Do we think those devices are the same thing? Like, are they comparable?
That's a damn good question.
And do you think if that's true, when do you think PlayStation 6 launches? The fall after?
Man, that is such a tough one. If Xbox is smart, that would be a smart move on Xbox's part because it gives them separation. It gives them some time to say, look, we've got something cool. Come
Help
over here while there's, all eyes are on us. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that would be a really, really good move for Xbox. It'd be really interesting to see how Sony counters. Because if they have the Pro and people are good with the Pro, you're going to have to really one-up the hell out of that, especially if you're trying to compete with Xbox. So it could also be detrimental to Xbox because they could win people over for a year and then a new PlayStation comes out 2 years later and it blows it out of the water. So I don't know, man.
I think it's more healthy
tough
if they alternate like every 2 years blowing each other out of the water.
I agree.
Because then like everybody gets their 2 years in the sun, right?
Yeah.
We've got our leg up, and then you've got yours, and then we got ours. The thing is, my read on the situation, the PlayStation 5 Pro, which I have said repeatedly, I think is going to be cooler than maybe people are expecting, or at least what I've seen said about it. What I've seen sounds pretty awesome. Like, maybe not on the spec sheet, but I think on the TV screen, I think it's going to be a noticeable improvement. Mm-hmm. But still in the same architecture. Same chipset, same architecture. There lies where Xbox could go. They could either get cheaper, more efficient, or more powerful. Ideally, all three. But if they pull the plug on going completely different architecture, that's a different, like, and that's kind of the configuration that both these consoles have is holding them back. Like I've said it since the start. I think most people have come to accept that these consoles aren't all that amazing. We've got handhelds that are kind of doing what these consoles kind of do. So if they go completely different, they have the ability to outpunch it significantly if they want to. But the question is, significantly on paper or significantly on screen?
Right.
Right? Because PlayStation 5 Pro is doing excellent ray tracing and upscaling at 60. Even if you're outpunching it like on paper, for most people, they don't have screens that can do more than 60. Like, correct. How valuable is that to most people?
Mm-hmm. That's wherein lies the problem, because at that point, who are you marketing to? The PC crowd? Because they're the ones that have the screens, but they've got a PC.
They keep calling it right? The next Xbox will be the biggest generational leap ever for a console era. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
even if they launched a fucking console with a 4090 in it, it's not.
What good is that going to do unless somebody has a TV that runs faster than 60?
And it's going to be super expensive.
It doesn't make a difference. I mean, we're starting to see more TVs that have higher refresh rates, but I don't think people. Because I remember when we were first talking about, like, way back when we had Game Tech, we were talking about the new PS5s with HDMI 2.1 and like TVs with faster refresh rates, and people still don't have those.
They're becoming more current, but most people still don't have them. Yeah. And even if they have them, most people don't care, I think, is maybe the more important part. Mm-hmm. Does it play my games? 2K, Call of Duty, Madden, very beautifully, very pretty. That's really what people care about.
We've seen in the adoption rate just from going to PS4 and Xbox One to this current gen that people really don't care that much. Like, you look at the adoption rate. I have several coworkers who are like, everything that was on my PS4 is still there.
Windows Central said that, I think they said almost 50%. They may have given an actual number. I don't recall it. Almost 50% of monthly active users on Xbox are still on Xbox One. Yeah.
Because the reality is, it's like, especially if you're a TV gamer, you're playing on your TV. It's not going to make it. It's not noticeable enough. There's nothing that I have to buy.
You're right if you're a TV gamer, but also if you're a casual gamer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Both of those things. If you're playing Madden and Fortnite, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, not at all.
You're not missing anything.
Mm-mm.
It's a little softer.
one of my coworkers,
You got a
he's
1X, like
PlayStation.
you're really not missing anything.
Dude, 1X, PS4 Pro, like you're
Yeah.
still playing
Still
the
really
new
good.
Horizon, the new God of War. And the thing is, if you play the old ones on that console, like the experiences, but you're getting the sequel.
And if you're somebody, and I've always said this, I believe this in my heart, but I don't think plays out in actuality. If you're one of those people that complain about this sort of thing, then you should have a PC. They don't. A lot of people don't. But like, if you do, if you're like 30 sucks, then like, what are you doing? Like, you should have a, like, if you're somebody that really, if you watch Digital Foundry videos, you should be gaming on a PC. You know? I don't know. I think we might be in a world where like Xbox 4 or whatever the fuck they're going to call it. Let's say it's like, I don't know. I'm going to pull a thing out of my fucking ass. It's 30% better, faster than the PS5 Pro. But like on screen for most third-party games, you put them side by side, is it be the same?
Yeah, my TV didn't improve,
especially
so
for most games. Like if you exclude first-party game, like take the showcases out of it. Just give it to me straight. Let's do FIFA, Call of Duty, and Madden side by side, and Fortnite on both of those two things. Like even if the Xbox is like better, it's a better GPU, better CPU, better across the board. On the screen when you're actually playing it, is probably be roughly about the same.
Yep, absolutely. And
so like that's the diminishing returns that you run into when you go x86 and you do this. And maybe they go ARM. I don't know. Like I really
even
don't
if
know.
they do, it still won't matter because again, it's not going to change the experience you have on your television.
Make it cheaper.
It'll make it cheaper, sure. So you have maybe you're a little bit less worried about the price.
They come out with like a better console that's like $300. Like they see that's I'm trying to think like where does it get different? How can they get different? Can they get different?
Even if they get different, why?
I would say the handheld.
Why?
But they have said we are launching another console, and this rumor is a console. Like to me, I've already said it before. I would get different by let's go third party and let's do a handheld. We're going to focus all on the handheld, and then we'll bring our games to other systems. But like our system,
that would make
handheld.
So much more sense because it gives people something different. Now you're not so worried about the screen because that's like to me that's the biggest thing. Like you said, like if my TV is only 60 hertz, plug in a PS5, a PS4.
You can throw all the buzzwords on the box
Xbox,
you want. It doesn't matter.
I'm not taking advantage of what the system can do. It doesn't matter.
140 hertz, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, unless you're somebody who's adopting an OLED that's got VRR that has a 120 hertz mode, like it doesn't. And
we've even seen on our own podcast, you can have somebody that buys one of those, don't even use it, don't even turn it on,
don't
plug it in correctly.
Like I'm playing this shit in 30 frames.
Don't even have game mode.
Barely 4K. Doesn't matter. I don't know. Yeah.
Most people don't even turn on the game mode. Well, I guess that shouldn't. But that doesn't stop people from buying stuff, right? They may not use it properly, but they still buy it because they want to think that they have the cool stuff. Yeah. So maybe that's it.
Maybe, but that's the minority. That's us. We'll do that.
Yeah,
we'll upgrade our TVs, but the vast majority of people are like,
"You're right."
Nah,
most people with TV work. Like my wife is that way. My wife, I have upgraded our TV maybe 6 times since we've lived here, and she was like, "I was fine with the first one." She's like, "What? Why do you keep doing this?" She's like, "The TV."
My wife is the same way.
It works. Why do you keep messing with it?
I'll
try to point out to her, like, look how much better this is. She's like, it looks like the TV.
Yeah, that's my wife entirely.
We've gone from like a 42-inch Roku 1080p TV to a 65-inch OLED VRR, and she thinks it's the same TV.
You just take off the case, put the new thing in the same case, and they never know the difference.
Yeah, she doesn't know any better. So yeah, you're right. I don't know what. I really don't know what another console does for Xbox. I don't know. It just gives them a chance to start afresh, start new.
That's probably
there's something there to just try and hit a reset button and try again.
It has to come with the game. We have to go back to like
thing that
this game is only on this system. Give me the new Gears only on the new Xbox.
It's a big miss. Well, here's the thing. You're missing Grand Theft Auto. You're missing the launch, which is what the launch is an inflection point. People will buy stuff because Grand Theft Auto is launching.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think people are going to buy stuff because Grand Theft Auto launched a year ago, and now there's this new thing.
Yeah. No,
if you were in that boat, I don't want to say blanket statement because I know not everybody's going to PC game, but if you were in that boat, you should have a PC, I think. But most people just don't want a PC. Like there is that console gamer, like I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
A TV
it's the cost. It's the.
But they're not going to wait for an Xbox. They're just going to Pro. They're not going to wait.
Yeah, exactly. They'll get the Pro. They'll get the PS5 Pro.
They're not going to buy another one later. They're not going to trade in and buy another one. Like they're done.
No, because it works.
And then,
so why would I?
And then the leaker's like, it launches next to Call of Duty. It's like, so what? Call of Duty is on everything.
Right. Exactly. Call of Duty is not going to move a brand new console when it's not doing anything different. It's Call of Duty.
I'm telling you, man, it's weird.
It is. It is really weird.
Pull the plug. Just put all the things everywhere.
Again, like
make a handheld with the game. You can still have hardware. Make a handheld you still have a console.
Make a handheld and leave the consoles to PlayStation and Nintendo. And then put your games everywhere.
And here's the thing: make an awesome hardware. Like make an awesome handheld.
Yeah.
Like go kick the Steam Deck's ass. Go do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can.
Yeah. What's the cost though? What's the cost there? That's the other thing.
So if it were me and if I was making a console, if I was making another console, if I'm an Xbox and Phil Spencer walks in the door and he goes, Sadia says we're making another console. If I was in that room, I would make it expensive as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I would look at it and go, look, we're not going to sell that many anyway.
Yeah.
Our market's a boutique. We're only going to sell at best. Dev, have you realized that the Xbox Series X console is going to sell significantly less than the Xbox One?
Mm-hmm.
Does that blow your mind? That blows my mind. The Series X is so much fucking better than the Xbox One. Like the whole generation. Think of the generation the Xbox One was in. The Matrix and the Kinect and the fucking VCR and then the S and it's going to significantly outsell the Xbox Series X, which, console wars aside, the Xbox Series X is a fucking awesome little piece of hardware. Like it's a good console. Plays games good. It's got good stuff. Got good OS. Like it's good. It's better. It's better than the Xbox One, I think, in every conceivable way. And it's going to sell maybe half. And that blows my mind.
It would blow my mind too if they didn't tout like Xbox anywhere. Just get a system and all of our games are there. Yeah. I think they shot themselves in the foot with that. And also just the whole cross-gen gaming, like everything being, it just fucking tanked them.
Yeah, if I were them,
anybody else,
I would go, okay, we're not going to sell 100 million consoles. We're likely not going to sell 50. 50 million is like that's like your wet dream.
Mm-hmm.
You're likely going to sell 20 to 30 million. So in my head, I go, let's make the best hardware we can for our 25 million most devout fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like these are our customers. We want to give them the best because they're going to buy it. Right? Like, forget the casuals, forget price, forget trying to be like, I would launch a $700 Xbox.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, look, the Series X is great. All of our games are on it. But if you want the best of Xbox gaming, if you want the best that Gears of War can possibly be, this is our new console. It's a little more expensive, but listen to us. It's fucking worth it. Like that'd be my approach.
Touted as the PC experience without the PC drawbacks.
And therein lies, well, actually, as you say that, maybe you do pull that plug. Maybe you rip that Band-Aid off and you go, it is a PC. We've designed a PC to work for your living room. Like you could put Steam on it.
Trying to realize a Sony dream. We want to be in everybody's living room.
Yeah, I floated the idea of like, what if Steam makes a console?
Go back to that. Steam
maybe you try to beat Steam to the punch. Maybe you go, no. Let's do that. We'll be the Steam console for the living room. We'll make a PC that has an Xbox wrapper on it, Xbox OS on Windows, but it's Windows. You literally can down anything you want from the Microsoft Store. You fucking put Ubisoft on that bitch. You can put Steam on that motherfucker and plug it into your television, and now you're playing with power.
I mean, I think as long as again, I think the problem with that for most console gamers is they don't want the PC experience. They don't
You
want to
still have the
all of
wrapper.
that
It has the Xbox experience, but
Is-
if you want to dabble, you can.
So you do like the PlayStation where you can install Linux.
No, I honestly think it's an app.
I know what you're
think
saying.
think your Xbox now, like you start Netflix, you just start Steam and it's Steam OS and there's your games. Now here's the thing. That comes at a cost of your store revenue, obviously. But if you're kind of going third party anyway, who cares? Like if the idea is we're going to put our games on PlayStation and Steam, and then at that point, who cares? You're literally just selling hardware at that point for hardware's sake. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's really not a bad idea. Like we're going to make a PC box for the living room, for your TV, for the TV gamer. We're going to make a PC for the TV gamer. Kind of the best of both worlds.
I just don't think the console people who want that are going to buy that. I just don't think they will. I'm like, it's
The console
PC,
people, as in like
man.
the 200 million people that buy consoles, or the Xbox console people? Because I'm trying to sell 25 million of them, not 200.
The Xbox console people.
I think if you start the box and it launches and looks every bit as way that you've been trained Xbox looks, I think they don't care.
We'll see.
I mean, look, we don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't know.
I'm just saying I don't think that's a crazy idea.
I don't think it is either. I wonder if people will be able to get past
Xbox
that.
does what Steam Machine don't.
Maybe.
I wanted the Steam Machine to work so damn hard.
You really did. And
I loved the
I
Steam
saw that
Machine.
train wreck a mile away. I was like, this is not gonna fly.
I do like that idea if they do like a Steam box, like a Steam Deck box.
Yeah. How many Xbox gamers want that though? How many Xbox gamers want to also have
It's not that they
Steam
want
OS?
that. I think there's 25 million pretty enthusiastic Xbox fans that just want an Xbox console that they really love. And I think if you could do that, because here's the thing, if you open it up, I think you do open it up to new customers. There might be PC gamers that are like, I'll get that and plug it into my television, right? Because I've got my PC, but I want to have like, in my living room or something. Like they may want to do that. But I think there's Xbox fans that are like, we want to give you the best that we possibly can, and the best way that we can do that for a console type price is go in this PC route. Like we're just going to go PC. And
you know who'll buy that? Delvin will buy that because
I'm
it takes all the guesswork out the PC part.
I would buy that. I would buy that too.
I would not. I would just buy. I would build a home theater PC. Like
Because I use my iPad with my Razer Kishi kind of as like a Steam Link, so I can play on my couch. If I could just like put all those games on my Xbox and play there, I would. I probably would. Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people would. I'm not like saying there's a lot of me's out there, but here's the thing: there are not a lot of people buying Xboxes out there either.
There's not.
So like that's better than nothing. That's better than what they're doing now. I think.
Yeah, they're in such a weird fucking place. Such a weird space to be in.
What the fuck is this Garrett Bland shit in our chat?
Oh, he's just talking shit.
Fuck Garrett.
He made me laugh.
Speaking of Valve is cooking up a new competitive shooter called Deadlocked. Gameplay's leaked all over the internet. It's like some hero shooter. It's got classes and stuff. It's got the BioShock Infinite shit where you slide across rails and shoot each other.
Interesting. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. We got enough arena shooters already? God damn.
Well, is Valve.
Yeah.
Right. I think they get that pass. I think most people are like, fucking, we'll do whatever Valve. If Valve's making an arena shooter, we're going to play it.
What's the last thing
I thought that was you. Your internet went down on me.
I don't know. It could be.
That's a good question. Was it the VR? The VR Half-Life game?
Oh yeah, huh? Yeah. God.
I think
made that.
Alex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it
Alex, Half-Like Alex. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's the news.
All right, we're done with the news. All right. Third Day's 93. You son of a bitch.
Look at D-Life. This shit has just been coming up. Can we not? We can't escape this today.
We can't escape
These
it.
fake ass rumors.
Stop it, people. Do some homework. It's stop. No.
Xbox isn't buying Steam.
They're not, especially not for that low, paltry sum.
not for
Steam
that.
laughs in the face of that nonsense.
Yeah.
Stop it. All right. So Rude Day says, going back a bit to see if these for the PS5. Devin got it right with the under at 81. The line was 82.5.
Good job.
Donnie got the under right on Hellblade 2 as he did not take into account the Xbox tax as he was way off the line with this. Do you remember what it was? What did he say?
I think it was pretty high. I think it was like 87 or 80. I think it was 88. And I think I even said, if you made it 87, I might take it. But you and Delvin were like, I'm going over. I'm taking the 9. Here's the funny thing is,
I want it to be
I believe you. That's my score. My score is way better than that.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't, and I couldn't see the aggregate coming to that.
I wanted the games media to love it the way they should. Rat bastards.
They will when it comes to PlayStation.
So sad. God, can you imagine? Like an underwhelming, terrible game, and then it comes to PlayStation. This is what we've been waiting for.
No, they won't change. Then they'll have to dig in and eat it. They'll all buy it and play it, but they won't talk about how it's better.
Just awful. All right. Let's see. We all got the override on Paper Mario, making the score currently 29 for Donnie and me and Delvin 22. But wait, there's more. As the NBA insider Haley got the Timberwolves over the Nuggets right, and she subs for Delvin, giving him 23 and a 1-point lead in my favorite PSVG midseason tournament.
Yeah, she had
demand a recount
6. She had many in 6.
Yeah, they won in 7. I don't think you should get a point for that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, she did pick the winner, but not the game.
See that one coming.
I thought it was 7, but 50-50, and it was anybody's game, the last game.
Yeah, it was.
I am proud that while the entire internet was predicting sweep, down 0-2, I was like,
no.
the Nuggets were fine. They're going to get back into this.
I could not believe how many people were saying that they were going to get swept.
Everybody.
Everybody else.
Shaq out there talking about SGA deserved the MVP shit. Like so many people had to eat crow in like 3 days. I was like, y'all are such, and it's not their, it's just media. We're always so knee jerk in the moment. The moment is the only moment that happens. I remember like yesterday, we were on that pod and I was like, I'm not even all that concerned about it actually.
Same. I was right there with you. Like
I was like, the Nuggets are fine. They're going to be okay.
Yeah. You and I both were like,
lose,
what y'all talking about,
but they're not getting swept. Like this is the NBA champion. No, they're okay.
What?
It'll be okay.
But yeah, way to go, Wolves! Y'all did the thing.
They did the thing.
So right now he says, who you got? Mavic versus T-Wolves. 1 point for the winner and another point for predicting the number of games.
So Dev, here's where I want to ask you this. All of my NBA podcasts are saying the same thing. Everybody's very excited about this series. I don't think this series is all that close, and that scares me because I'm like, what do I not understand? I think Minnesota is a heavy favorite versus Dallas.
I think they are. I think everybody questions Dallas's like depth.
And
Can
size.
Are they
don't have enough bodies? I don't think they have enough
big
meat.
enough to. Well, they won tonight.
They won game 1.
Yeah.
Dallas. Wow. Because everybody I keep hearing, they're like, everybody thinks this is going 7. And I was like, I wouldn't be shocked if it went like 5 or 6. I was thinking 6, but I wouldn't be shocked if it went 5. But they did win tonight. Okay. Mm-hmm. I do think in a close game, I think this may be where it is. In a close game, you got to go with Luka and Kyrie.
Yep.
In a close game. Like if they can keep it close, they've got a chance. But I just worry about that defense. That defense sounds sweltering against those guys.
I agree. And I think right now Minnesota might be a little bit tired, which is why they possibly dropped game 1. Dallas had some rest after getting rid of the Clippers. So they've had a minute to just kind of relax.
Game 1 is always a feeling out thing. If you're going to steal a game, it's always going to be game 1.
Yeah. Ant did not play well tonight. He shot 37% from the field, only had 16 points. I said to that back. How many points did he have?
He's kind of hit and miss.
He had 19 points.
Yeah, it's still not great.
Luka and Kyrie both had 30.
Like, I really want to say Mini in 6, but just to be, I'll say Mini in 7. I'll give Kyrie and Luka a couple of games.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I'm leaning Minnesota in 7 as well. They had several players in double figures. They just did not shoot well at all. So, yeah. But, yeah, I question Dallas's depth and their size to be able to bang with them. So, I'm going also Minnesota. But good on him for getting game 1. Good job.
Yeah.
And he says over or under Pacers win 1.5 games against the Celtics.
So I want you to pick first.
So the Celtics and the Pacers, like, I think the Pacers will get a game. Will they get 2 games? That's a tough call. I don't feel like Indiana's weird because they're the 6th seed. They've got some veterans on that team that kind of have been there and know what they're doing. But also I feel like Halliburton, he is like so hit or miss. But Boston is kind of the same way. Like, they kind of disappear sometimes. Like,
well, I don't think they disappear. This is the point I was trying to make with Joe. I just don't think they are. Their players individually aren't the type of players that people generally associate with greatness. They're not those alpha players.
Yeah, Tatum is good, but is he like?
He's good.
Is
and that's
he
the
him?
thing. They have a lot of good players. They're all good. That's the thing. They're all good, but they're not Ant. They're not Kyrie. They're not Luke. That's been my thing. Like, in a game against an alpha player, they can, like, Brunson could shift a series against the Celtics. The Celtics are better in every conceivable way. The Celtics are deeper. They're better. They're longer. They've got more shooting. They got more defense. But the Knicks have Brunson. And if they were all healthy and all things are considered equal, that's a series because Brunson can tilt the table.
Yeah.
Can Andy tilt the table? No. And I'd say no. I'd take the under. I don't think they get 2. They might get 1. They're not getting 2.
Looking at their season matchups, the games have all been kind of close. And
but
Indy
you're right to point out Halliburton, and he does get. That's the thing. Like, there are the times where he does show up, and he gives you like 38 and 17 with 4 threes, and like. But then there are the other times where he gives you 5 turnovers and 12 points, and he's just been weird. But I don't like the rest of the team. Siakam and Turner are decent, and but the Celtics have been there, done it, battle tested, battle proven, more consistent night to night. And if they couldn't do it in game 1, I don't think they can do it in the other game. Like, I think it's Boston in 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Boston in 5 too, only because like they've been there, they've done this. Pacers are still trying to figure it out, so I'm expecting the veteran.
Jaylen Brown makes that shot because Jaylen Brown has taken those shots.
Right.
Yeah, young teams don't win the playoffs. It's 100% proven. Young teams don't win the playoffs.
Yeah, I will say it's nice to see all of these young teams in the playoffs. Like, everybody's young. There's none of these old people. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, that's how I feel about when folks go waxing about the NES. Feel the same way.
Oh, you motherfucker!
I'm like, all right, LeBron, get the fuck out of here already. You've had your goddamn 30 years. Is it not enough? You don't have enough? There are other people here too, LeBron.
Good stuff. Well, we'll see what happens. Selfishly, I want the Pacers to win because I hate Boston and everything.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I don't like Boston either. And Carlisle, right?
Yeah,
way better coach. Like, that's got to matter something. Like, if they get 2, that'd be the reason why. He's a way better coach than Joe Maz. Joe Maz is terrible.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to run Cleveland's coach out of there. I'm like, dude, it could be worse.
It could be. Oh God, who are the Lakers going to get? I'm just
so all of the buzz out of Cleveland, and not like local beat writer that's like a homer for the team. I mean, like, the people I've followed for Cleveland Cavs reporting for 20 years that have been pretty good. They all seemingly are indicating they think Donovan's staying. Like, they all, like, there's almost like this weird, quiet confidence. They're all like, yeah, I think he's resigning.
I mean, everything that he said personally and what he's done doesn't make it seem like he's in any, like,
I think he's had a knee issue, and I feel like his his representation want the max. I think they're just going to take the max. They're going to take the money. And then the question is, what do the Cavs do with the rest of everything else? Because Donovan wants to fire the coach, reportedly. He doesn't want to fire him. He doesn't think the coach is going to get them, to the next level. I like JB as a coach. I don't think he's like an offensive wizard, but I think fans overrate that sometimes. I don't think many coaches in the NBA are nobody's being amazing on offense because of coaching. It's a make or miss league. Make the shots and your coach looks great. I like JB as a coach, but if they sign Mitchell, they got to move Garland. And I think that's going to happen. And did you hear anything about the Cavs? You seen any of that story?
Hell no. It's the Cavs.
So they're going to trade Jared Allen too.
Okay, that I have seen. I have seen some of that, yeah.
Jared Allen bruised his ribs, and the trainers tried to give him a shot, and he refused the shot and just kind of sat out.
Oh, wow.
And that seemingly bothered the other players that were doing things to play.
Yeah.
And I think if you read the situation based on who was out there and who wasn't, I think Garland and Mitchell were really upset that Allen didn't try. Because I think they think if Allen was out there, they had a puncher's chance against the Celtics. Yeah. Which I agree with. I told you, everybody was crazy. Everybody was destroying the Cavs for losing that final game to put them against the Magic and put them on Boston's side of the bracket. I kept telling everybody, I don't think Donovan, Garland, they're not scared of Boston.
Nope.
They think they can play with Boston. They are scared of Philly, though. They can't touch Embiid. They've got nothing for that man. That man eats them alive. And I kind of agree with him. I think if Jared Allen was out there, it's a series. I wouldn't say they win. I still don't think they win, but it's a series.
Yep. Next year is going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of movement this year, I think. Yeah. I think we're going to see a handful of dudes from the West move east.
That'd be great, because if we can get some more competitiveness in the East and not make the West fucking Vietnam.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're going to see happen. I think we're going to see some movement from West to East. And I think, I don't know where Garland's going to go. I really like Garland. I like watching him as a player. I like what he does with the ball. If I could put him somewhere, I'd like to put him in San Antonio.
That'd be nice. Although I also want San Antonio to fail at everything, but that's just
like I would take a couple of their wings and some picks and whatnot for Garland. You put him with Wemby and let them grow together.
What pick does San Antonio have? They don't have the first pick, do they?
I don't think I would. Well, yeah, I could care less about the pick in this draft.
Well, no, I'm thinking about who they're getting.
Keep this draft.
Who's in the
keep
draft?
This draft. Yeah, this draft is terrible. It's real bad. It's real bad.
I feel like every draft going forward is going to be somewhat terrible.
I don't know. I mean, it fluctuates. It's cyclical, but this draft is like an all-timer bad. One of the podcasts I listened to, they said if you take most players that were picked between like 12 and 17, that's like the number one pick this year. Is a kid that you usually get at like 15. And if anybody out there doesn't follow the NBA draft, anytime you're picking beyond like 6, you're basically throwing a dart at a dartboard. It really is a game of luck, man. Like nobody knows. Giannis went like 18th. Nobody fucking it's, you don't know. The kids get picked so young. They're so inexperienced. You have no idea how they're going to develop and grow. So the idea of like having the number one pick and that's what you're looking at, it's terrible.
Yeah.
You know what that screams? That screams in 4 years, you're going to have a labor problem because he's going to be like, I want a max because I was the number one pick. And you're going to be like, we can't give you the max because you suck.
Yeah, you're trash. We actually are sending you to the G League.
Yeah. So like if I was a team with a pick, I would trade the pick for anything. Like for literally any good role player.
Dude, that's the Thunder. The Thunder have all the picks in the world. Like they could load up.
Yeah. Yeah. They can't keep picking them. They got to move those picks at some point.
They got to do something with them. Yeah.
They're literally getting less valuable by the day. At this point, it's like inflation. It's like we have 36. They're like, yeah, but we still not going to give you Jared Allen for all of them. Like we actually need players, not 36
we need
picks.
Players, not these picks. And there's nobody to pick. So what do you want? What do you want?
Picks don't play.
All right, let's get into these questions. Starting with Smokeless Joseph. You don't get to be Smoking Joe because you're a Boston fan. It's Smokeless Joseph. All right. He wants to know what is our favorite Delvin moment.
Wow.
My favorite is him calling you Smokeless Joseph.
Fuck you, Kyle the Pug.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
I mean, it's a good bit. I don't know about moment.
My favorite moment is him trying to get his Optimus Prime to work, and it just would not.
Very good. That was hilarious. It's just terrible. You embarrass me. I want to say like some XP moment. There's got to be some moment where he's trying to rein in Haley or something that I love that I just can't remember.
Probably.
He does a pretty good job of those.
Yeah. Oh, Delvin. We miss you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Edward Varnell says, with the Summer Direct happening in 3 weeks, what 4 games do you want to see or announced? Choose one per console and one for PC. It's a Summer Direct? What?
It's the Summer Games Fest stuff.
Oh, Summer Game Mess. Ugh.
He may be talking about the Nintendo Direct, but he
That's
said
what
pick
I
one
figured.
pick one per console and PC, so I presume he means Summer Games Fest. Ooh, you go, because my thing is beeping.
What do I want to see get announced? For Xbox, I'd like to see them announce a Gears because I feel like they need a good shot in the arm. PlayStation, that's a tough one. I don't know that I want to see Ghost announced. I just want something new. I want them to
Astrobot, baby.
Anything but Astrobot.
It's real and it's happening, Jeff.
That's
next week.
Thing. What I want from PlayStation is anything but Astrobot. All right.
You want not Astrobot to be announced.
Not
Astrobot. You want a non-announced. You
anything but.
Take
anything
the announcement
but.
away. Just cancel the project.
Yes. Cancel it all together.
Shut the studio down.
Say we've shut down Asobi Studios or whatever they're called. We got rid of them. Or better, we sold them to Nintendo. Like, there we go.
Nintendo bought a studio this week. Yeah, my answer is gonna be Astrobot. PlayStation. I hope it's like big and grand. If there's if there's a Mario 3D World Astrobot game, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna get a PlayStation.
No, you're not.
I want to play that game.
You're gonna wait for it to come to PC.
I don't know.
In 2 years.
Yeah, well, I just bought a new laptop, so you're probably right. I actually probably can't buy a PlayStation right now if I want to.
Well, you wouldn't have to buy it, when the Pro comes out.
That's all my PlayStation money. Gears is good for Xbox. Doom comes to mind too.
A new Doom already?
Yeah. But Gears is, I would love to see, well, he said announced, not shown, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to say Fable, but yeah, that doesn't count. Nintendo, I want to see Wind Waker. I want Wind Waker on my fucking Switch already. Like, you don't have any games. We're moving to the next console, so just give us the goddamn Zelda game and let me play Wind Waker while we wait. You strung this out long enough, Nintendo.
What's the Zelda game where he's the wolf? What's that?
Twilight Princess.
Has that been remade yet?
They remade Switch? Both on Wii U. There was the HD version of Twilight Princess.
I want a Switch version.
Neither on Switch yet.
Well, there we go. That's what I want to announce for the Switch.
Yeah. Twilight Princess is dope.
He's the
that'd be great.
Fox or wolf thing. Yeah.
Fox the wolf.
Whatever.
Yeah, Twilight Princess is excellent. And that remaster was beautiful.
For PC? I don't fucking know.
Lucky Squire.
You want that announced for PC?
Oh, dated. Give me a damn. Oh, no. The other one I want is I want Metal Gear Solid to be dated and released. Delta. That might happen at your PlayStation show next week, right?
That game can also kick rocks. Is it next week? Have they announced that there's a show?
Not yet, but I think it's next week.
Isn't it kind of late to announce something? Like, shouldn't we have already had that announcement?
The 28th and 29th keep being floated around Reddit.
Well, I want regular, like the original remake of Metal Gear Solid. The hell with this Delta 3 Snake Eater trash.
Get over this. It's going in chronological order. You're getting there.
I hate that. I hate that for me so much.
I would love a new Castlevania game to be announced, like a 3D Castlevania game.
I don't know what I want. I really don't.
In like the world of all of like the Metroidvania hype and shit that we have, Hollow Knight and Ori and all that, like why don't we have like a Castlevania to like go in there?
Because Konami.
Like isn't that like missing the fucking boat?
It's because Konami. They're like,
Like you
we
should
don't
have
want
a
to make. We don't want to make no
Castlevania
games.
game
We're
right
just gonna
now.
keep making TV
Like
shows
right now, a big expensive Castlevania game that everybody loves. Like we got Prince of Persia and Metro and all that, like Castlevania, that shit.
You would think they would do that, especially with how popular the show is on Netflix, like the animated series.
Yeah,
and people love that. Like, why are
you do it in the anime style?
Yeah,
But I don't. I want, because Metrovanias are my thing. I miss Lords of the Shadow. Like I want a 3D.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, the 3D version. I know what you meant. I picked up what you were putting down.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. I don't know.
Could you imagine in the anime style, like some of like those anime games that we have? Oh,
that'd be cool.
That'd be sick. That'd be so good.
Yeah. I'd like them to announce like a new Infamous game, Infamous remake, something.
I'd buy a console that day.
That's why I wanted. That's why I want it to happen.
Like literally that day, I would just go eat all the fucking crow. Like, all right, well,
spend money.
It's over now. The boycott's ended. I'm back, baby. I buy like a hat and shit. Playing PlayStation. Like change the name. Like it doesn't have to be a new one. It just be like this. Remaster the old ones. I'd be like, all right, I'm back.
I'm back, baby.
I realized I can't put. Now here's the thing. I should get it and put it diagonally in the cubby, like the chat told me.
Bro, no.
I think I should do that. Like, there's a part of me when I saw that picture, I was like, dude, that's so perfect. Like, this is how I would have a PlayStation. But the other thing that dawned on me, Dev, I could just put it upstairs. I didn't have to sit here. I just put on the TV in the living room. It's not as good a TV, but it's still pretty nice.
Yeah,
so I could just do that.
You could, absolutely. Yeah. Tyler wants to know, if Nintendo wasn't part of the gaming world in the 80s, do you think Sega could have rejuvenated the gaming business like Nintendo did? Many podcasts today could have been labeled as Sega instead of Nintendo and talking about how great Sonic is.
Could is a word, and could is yes. Could they have? Sure. Could anybody have? Yes. Would they have? No, because I don't think Sega would have existed if Nintendo wasn't there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the Master System was around, but nobody paying.
Somebody would have come out. Video games weren't. There are some people that act like if the NES was never made, we would never have video games. It was an emerging technology. It was big on video games would have found their way. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of who would have done it. And I think Nintendo just showed people like the value of the home console. Somebody would have cracked that nut. I don't know who though. Sega, Philips, PlayStation, somebody would have figured it out. Apple.
Nintendo just happened to have the right marketing at the right time. It was called the.
I remind people the entertainment system was thought of as like a home computer.
Yep.
Like that was. It also wasn't like just the video game console.
Yeah, that's what Famicom stood for, family computer.
Right.
Like people.
A lot of people don't. I don't want to say a lot of people don't like. Obviously, it was a video game console, and they realized that they sold their stuff. But just remember, in its iteration, it wasn't like what we traditionally think of as locked console video game console box. It was edutainment. It was other accesses. It was a home computer, sort of.
Yep.
It just kind of
boomed into video games.
Exactly. Like video games just kind of took off. They're like, oh, this is. We'll just do this. Yep. So somebody would have figured that out. I think. No, I'm not even thinking. I'm sure of somebody would have figured it out.
Absolutely. Would it have been Sega?
I think what Sega did is they saw what Nintendo did and they were like, let's compete. We can compete.
Do that.
Let's do that. Yeah, that's how that happened.
Yep. Oof. TPR says, how much will it take for Jaylen Brown to prove his contract's worth? I think it requires the chip. I don't know what his contract is. I don't care. He's on Boston. He's dead to me.
He got a max, so he makes a lot of money, but everybody makes a lot of money. He makes 49 to 60 million over the next 5 years, a year.
Oof. That's nice.
Here's the thing. The cap is going to keep going up. the new revenue contract that they were talking about an article today that in 10 years time we could see 100 million annual player.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's all Luka right now qualifies for making the NBA all pro team. He qualifies for the Supermax, which is like 350 million or something
Over 5 or
insane.
6. Yeah, like the max right now is around, I think if you're the right player that hit the right things, you could get to like maybe like 70, 75 annually. And it's a lot.
So much
and
money.
the NBA is weird because like, not weird. The cap structure is odd because LeBron is infinitely more valuable than like every other player in the league. But yet he gets paid the same as or near the same as 40 players like in the league because that's how the league structures their salary. So like worth it in quotes, the contract, is it worth it? Is it like, if you're saying, are they better than LeBron? Then nobody's worth the contract.
Right.
Is the question, is it worth it compared to his peer, to everybody else? Jaylen Brown is definitely, he just hit that shot.
Right.
He just kept them. He's already proved it.
Yeah. I mean, only one team can win it every year. Like, you got to pay the people to get the pieces there. Is he playing his contract? Yes.
Is he one of the best players at his position? Then he's worth the contract.
Yeah, absolutely.
The market's the market. And it sucks. And like the cap is limited and you do get squeezed and you can't pay everybody. But that's the beauty of the league. That's what gives teams like Cleveland and Toronto, and that's what gives us a chance. Is we can pick off a player from somebody else. They can't pay everybody. Miami can't consolidate every great player in the league. They can only have 2 or 3 of them. That leave them for us. So
Please.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now he will be, and he's the perfect age. He's 28. He's right in his prime. Will get better. By the end of the contract, he's 32. That's not crazy.
Nope.
Now, if you're going to give him that contract the next time, you may want to or if you're the Lakers right now, you're staring down the barrel of 70 million annually for LeBron at 40. You might want to make that a short contract. LeBron might be wanting to make that a longer contract than you want.
Yeah.
And that's something you have to, like, that's a much harder situation to deal with.
Yeah, we need you to go and take your son with you, please.
No, they don't give him that money. They like the prestige. I think that's why LeBron was in Cleveland. I think that's why he's shopping for some pressure, some standing ground, because I think the Lakers may be trying to play a little hardball. Not hardball like you can leave, but like maybe they're like, what if we pay you like 45 instead of 55? And I think
you made enough money already, LeBron? Jesus,
I think
Christ.
LeBron shows up in Cleveland and gets everybody talking, and they're like, how about you give my money?
Yeah.
So
run me my money. All right.
Yeah. He's worth it. Not like today as a player, but like to the league. He deserves every bit of it and some. What he's done for the game. You know, like he's woefully underpaid at $50 million a year.
It's ridiculous. So much damn money.
It is isn't it obscene?
It's obscene. It is
obscene.
Really ridiculous.
For basketball.
We put so much value on entertainment. It is crazy.
Yep.
All right. Brendan Meyer says, which franchises have disappointed you more than not? Not saying you don't enjoy parts of them, but which ones seem to mostly hit then miss, and which ones have your attention but haven't gotten into them yet? For him, it's the Mets, the Jets, the Fast and Furious movies, and mainline Pokemon games than Sun and Moon, Assassin's Creed, Red Dead Redemption, Planet of the Apes movies, and the New York Rangers. That's a hockey team.
Dude, I love Planet of the Apes movies. They're great.
Yeah. Women's professional sports, doing more emulation, hacking, and consoles. Yeah, that's a lot.
Pokemon games on Switch have been largely terrible. Like they really have. So that's a good call. But the series overall I haven't missed more than.
I've never played a single Pokemon game. I've only watched my son play them.
Yeah, they're pretty basic, but like that's kind of the point. But the new ones, I love Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, X and Y. Even most of the 3DS ones I really enjoyed. And then you get to Switch, and it's like I love Pikachu. Let's Go Pikachu. And then from that point forward, I don't think I've even liked any of the other ones that have come out. I mean, like I bounced quick. I played them for like 4 or 5 hours. I was like, F this. Like, I'm not doing this. I was gone. And I say this as somebody, when we started PSVG, if you'd asked me my 3 favorite Nintendo games, I would have said Zelda, Mario, and Pokemon. Today, I would say Zelda, Mario, and Fire Emblem. And the reason I've made that change is the Switch's generation of Pokemon games. I'm like, I don't even know if I even like this franchise anymore. Like, apparently, maybe I don't. Because it's been that bad.
Interesting. Assassin's Creed definitely fell off for me. I really, really loved them when it was the Ezio trilogy. I enjoyed 3 enough, and then Black Flag, I was just like, I'm done here. So that is definitely fallen off for me. I'm excited for Shadows. I want to see some gameplay.
Shadows,
but I'm very, very intrigued.
There, the rumor is they're remaking Black Flag.
I've heard that. I've seen that like for a while now.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Keep that shit.
Might be next year. Battlefield comes to mind.
Oh yeah.
I used to play Battlefield a lot, and haven't played or enjoyed Battlefield in many years.
Yeah, the only one I really got into was 3. Like I never played. It was crazy. I still have Bad Company like in plastic.
1941, Bad Company, Bad Company 2. I like Battlefield 1. I liked a lot of them. What was the Hardline? But yeah, last couple not so great.
Trying to think what other I mean, I
Tiger
typically
Woods.
only play stuff that
EA's
I enjoy.
PGA Golf Series.
Ugh.
Kind of went in the tank. It used to be amazing. I fucking fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's not been bad just like lately. It's been bad for a long time.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah. Like in the early days of the Wii, like 2003 to 2008, Tiger Woods was the shit. That game was amazing. And it was like right around the time like they did the Masters, they started automating a bunch of, and like it got bad. Like they had the caddy modes and stuff. And then of course, Roy McIlroy's PGA, like it fucking fell off a cliff. Like it got real bad. That might actually be my best answer for this.
For me, it's just EA Sports in general. Like, bring back EA Sports big, you bastards. Give me my NBA Street. Give me SSX. Like,
how'd you like that arcade game I posted?
I mean, I was like, it's NBA Jam. That's not what I want. I want NBA Street. So I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna play it.
Yeah, you're not getting Street.
Yeah, I know. It saddens me.
Teams. He put down Teams. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I'm a Browns fan.
Teams.
That's all I know is disappointment. I'm a Browns fan.
You're just.
You know how bad I am?
That's it.
I love the team when they went 8-8. I was like, dude, if we could just do this for a couple years, it'd be great. Your team's out here trying to fire everybody. They go 8-8. I'm like, this is. I love 8-8. You know why? Every week when I watch the game, I think we have a chance to win. Do you have any idea how many years of my life went by where I assumed we were not only going to lose, but lose by a lot every week? We went 0-16 one year, Dev. We didn't win a game.
Yeah.
People in Cleveland are crazy weird about it. Like they always want to blow up the team every year when they're trying to blow up the Cavs now. Like every year they want to fire everybody.
I just don't understand that. You got to build. You got to build.
They do the same thing for the Browns, and it's like, do you guys not understand how many 3-13s I've lived through?
You guys have a new quarterback every other week.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
So
like, just stick it out for a minute and get good. And just
the Browns.
You're always an injury from another team away of possibly going to the Super Bowl.
The Browns have disappointed me more than not. That's the best answer.
Yeah. I mean, my Lakers just pissed me off. I would say disappointed.
They got rings and championships.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed. I mean, my Niners, I'm just saddened every year that we just keep getting right to the fucking pinnacle and can't do it. But as long as we're better than Dallas, I'm always happy. So that's always good for me. Like Dallas, y'all can keep losing in the first round. Your season is already over. Like you're already eliminated.
We open with Dallas, I think, this year.
I hope y'all trounce them.
We open the Cowboys, which is crazy because we've opened against like a division foe, I think like every year for like a decade. we've always played like the Steelers or the Bengals or something week 1. So this is like the first time in so many years like we're opening outside the division, which is nice. Our division is damn stacked.
I feel like the AFC is always the AFC.
We need
is
to
like
break it up. We have no off week. Like everybody else seems to have an off week. We have no off week. It's like last year, like I think all 4 of our teams were 500 or better.
Yeah,
it's unheard of. Like the whole division was.
Dude, that's the AFC is like the Western Conference of the NBA.
It was like 9-6 or 9-8 or whatever. It was our worst team.
Yeah. AFC super competitive. NFC not so much. It's like 3 teams that are really good. That's it.
Yeah.
Detroit next year.
I would like a flat.
I'm worried about them.
They've been trying to do it to the NBA for a long time, scrapping conferences and having like a flat conference. I would prefer that in the NFL. That'd be nice. As a Browns fan, it'd be nice not to have to. We've got to beat the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals twice to even have a chance at like the wild card. It's like, dude, it's asking for a lot.
Just
we're like the Penn State of the NFL. It's like Penn State's there. They're good. They got to beat Ohio State, Michigan. They got to beat all of them to get there. You know, like, yeah, we are definitely that. It's like, God, give me a break, man. I'm looking around like they get to play Jacksonville. And then those fans are like, you suck. Like the fuck?
Right. That's one of my homeboys who's a Bengals fan, and I give
you
him
play the
crap
Texans
all the time. Right. Oh man. Any movies? Any movie franchises disappoint you?
Oh, of course. I'm sure. Like especially in the horror space, yeah.
But those franchises are just like one-offs.
No, like there's long-standing like Texas Chainsaw.
Is that a franchise or they just keep remaking a damn thing? Does it count as a franchise?
There's 10 Texas Chainsaws. They have sequels and reboots and pseudo sequels, and the problem is there shouldn't have been any. You should have just made Texas Chainsaw and left it alone. And they just keep going back to the well. I didn't like any of the Hostel
What is so intriguing about that story that they keep making?
I didn't like Saw. They kept going to Saw and just kept trying to like make it worse and worse. Halloween is sort of, some of them I like, some of them I don't. Like the newest trilogy that they made, I'm kind of not a fan. I know Delvin liked them. I didn't like them. But like everybody hated like Halloween H2O. I kind of like it. Like I appreciate the camp. So
Busta Rhymes.
Yeah. It's just like a very much like a part of its time, you know?
Yeah, very much so.
I like most of the Chuckies. I think Chucky holds up pretty well. I'm trying to think. We didn't really do Nightmare on Elm Street. Jason has never been. I love Friday the 13th. It's just never been like a great movie to begin with. Like the first one was really good, but like the series, it's just like kills and tits. Like that's like the whole series is just that over and over again. So it's like, how bad can it, like, it wasn't that great to start with. So how disappointed could you be? Yeah, I think Texas Chainsaw is maybe the best one. Now, the opposite of that, The Evil Dead is like incredible. It has lasting power. All the Evil Dead movies are great. The reboot's great. The new ones are great. The old ones are great. The sequels, like they're all good. They're all good movies. That I don't know what it is about that franchise, but they get it. They do well by it. I think every time. None of them are just like that was terrible. I think every horror franchise has a that was terrible. What the fuck were they thinking movie? I think except for The Evil Dead.
The only one I've seen is Army of Darkness.
Yeah, great, hilarious, super
hilarious.
Stupid and funny. Yeah. But
saw that in theaters in Cleveland.
You should watch Evil Dead 2.
I will not. This one here, Kyle the Pug.
Fuck you, Kyle the Pug.
Kyle the Pug. He says, since the post-game show Inside the NBA on TNT is ending in 2025, what are some of your favorite Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaq moments from there?
Those other guys, everybody got those guys. But LeBron can't have a bad game. Him and AD they both play well, the Lakers going to be tough to beat. But that's the one thing you got to worry about, man. Them young boys coming.
They are down 3-2, but they.
Oh man, yes. Just whenever Charles talks, you never know.
What was the Ernie Johnson one? You see the Ernie Johnson one where he was like whack ass white boy? That was a great clip that got taken down a few times.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of like viral moments. I generally enjoy the banter. I don't think it's like high IQ basketball insight, but I think that's the point. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's fun like locker room talk.
Yep.
Which I do enjoy.
Good camaraderie. You'll actually get some good stuff from Kenny and Ernie, but it's just fun. I love whenever anything where they're showing Kenny and his poor knees is always hilarious. His knees are so
I like when Shaq
busted.
I like anytime Shaq pulls the ring argument on Barkley.
Oh yeah.
They get into some debate and he's like, hey, how many of these do you have? And shit never gets
It's the best because Kenny's got 2.
I can't stand Kendrick Perkins though. Anytime he's on like as analysis, he's the worst.
Yeah,
it's amazing. The man played basketball. I didn't love him as a player because he was Celtic, but like I appreciate him as a player. As an analyst, it's atrocious. Like he is atrocious, and I'm normally. So I think I'm a little different than you. When this news broke, you were pretty upset. I think.
I am.
You were. Yeah.
I'm pissed.
I'm more indifferent. I like the show, but like I also don't see the show as like something that couldn't be replaced with something different that I also like. But I like my father-in-law. The point I'm trying to make, when we watch sports, my father-in-law, he gets very annoyed because I will often watch sports with the volume either way down or muted because I kind of don't like a lot of the commentary across sports. Whereas he like can't watch if somebody's not telling him what's happening, even if it's very odd. I kind of go in on him about this because I'd be like, dude, you know football. Like you don't need the announcer to tell you that was a face. Like you know what a face mask. I can see the face mask, but like he gets very like agitated, Dev, if he can't hear. Like if you start talking while they're talking, he'll like shush you. But I'm trying to watch the game, and it's like, dude, who gives a shit? Who cares what they're saying? Yeah. I'm here with you right now. Yeah. So like we're very different in that regard, he and I kind of lop inside the NBA into that. Whereas like it is fun. I like the moments that they have, but like I'm not really learning anything from them. So if somebody else comes along, like it may be better for all I know. I don't know. Maybe they'll get like JJ Redick and LeBron or some shit, and maybe it'll be cool. I don't know.
That won't be better. That's a completely different show. You're
I'm just
losing
saying.
all of the comedy. It's just high IQ
Get
basketball.
Mello's podcast or Paul Pierce. Everybody loves Paul
First
Pierce.
of all,
outlandish
no, he's the worst. He should not be in front of a
Really
microphone
bad.
ever. God,
I can't stand his opinion. His takes are
he
the worst.
he's terrible. Like I like when they would bring in Candace Parker, and
I like Van Gundy.
Van Gundy. Like I like a lot of the personalities that they have. So I'm just gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it. Like
I get
inside
that
the
too.
NBA forever.
It is very like it is very like basketball culture. And it's very like it's the league. Like it feels like the league. You know, it's just very organic to the league. Because the NBA is its own thing. Like it's not just basketball. You know, it's not AAU, it's not college, it's the league, and the league is different. Yep. And they do bring that to it better than any other sideshow that I think we've had, better than anything ESPN has ever done, and so forth. So I miss it too. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna say like I'm not happy to see it go away.
Yeah,
I'm sure
whatever they do with
Shaq and Barkley, I'm sure they'll get paid to do something.
Yeah, I mean Shaq has his podcast. I think Barkley just kind of retire.
Other people like Amazon and other people are going to broadcast NBA stuff. I'm sure they're going to make offers if they want to work, they're going to have an opportunity to work. I'm sure.
Yeah, I to be perfectly honest, I don't want to see Shaq or Barkley on anything without Ernie to keep them in check. Like that's kind of
smart
the thing.
Because
like,
Shaq's going to be there. I'm going to tell you this now. Shaq's taking check. Shaq takes all checks.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's offering Shaq's money to do, Shaq's going to be there.
He's going to do it. Yeah, he's got his podcast that he's doing right now. Like he's not going anywhere. He'll still be around, but without like they need that anchor in Kenny and Ernie.
They do.
Otherwise, no thank you. Like I need all 4 of them or none of them at all.
Yeah.
Like So
I
it'll
love
be interesting to see what happens.
my favorite commentator is RJ. Richard Jefferson.
He's hilarious.
He's entertaining. He's also smart. I like the way he explains things, and I generally would like to hear him do a lot of the commentary, like basketball commentary. When I was talking about my father-in-law, I was mainly talking about like football or baseball. Basketball commentary, I think, is actually very good. Van Gundy's great. Like Doris is great. RJ is great. Like there's a lot of good like game time commentary is very good. I think they do a good job.
Wins, please.
I'm losing you, Dev.
Am I back now? Am I around? Am I here?
Are you back?
I'm back. As far as I know, I never left.
Your signal went all the way down and you completely froze on me.
Fun.
But you're back now.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Hambone Johnny says Wendy's has added a 50-piece nugget to their menu. How many nuggets do you think you can mow down in one setting?
If I could get them in the spicy nugs, a lot.
How big are the nuggets? That's the question.
I am a sucker for the Wendy's spicy nugs.
Those are so good.
They're so good with the ghost pepper sauce, dude.
Delicious.
Yeah, I could at least do 20.
I was gonna say I can do 20, maybe 25, easy, because they're also not
no
super
fries.
huge.
Like if I just doing the nuggets, yeah.
I may have to
Ghost
buy a
pepper
50
sauce
piece.
is a must, though.
Yeah, delicious.
I don't know what's in the ghost pepper sauce. I'm almost positive that it's some sort of mayo base, which blows my wife's mind because I can't stand mayonnaise, but I love the ghost pepper sauce.
Mayonnaise, when it's like in other
Seasoned
things, can be okay, but when it just by itself on everything, no, thank you.
Hando Johnny knows what's up. Spicy nugs, man.
Them spicy nugs are really good.
The sandwich is good too. If you've never had the spicy chicken sandwich,
I have.
very good.
I have.
That's the one thing. Like their spicy chicken sandwich kicks Chick-fil-A's ass.
I agree.
What's your favorite spicy chicken sandwich?
Ooh,
because this has been
Popeyes.
something I've been kind of in on. Popeyes.
Popeyes.
I don't think I've had theirs. I'll try it. Okay,
It's delicious.
yeah, because I'm not like a big fan of Zaxby's. Somebody's there is one that I like.
Zaxby's is out here.
Oh,
if we have it.
Yeah, there's one. My favorite one, but it's not like I don't think it's a common. It's not like a national chain. I don't think. Have you ever been to a fast food place called Culver's?
No.
We have a Culver's that's nearby, like where I go to the doctor's office, and it's the only time I've ever seen them. I'm generally aware of them, but like it's not something I've seen often. But they make everything fresh, so like when you order, like you kind of have to wait. Like they give you like a number, and you pull around and you wait, and then they bring out the food for you. But I got a spicy chicken sandwich from them the last time I went to the doctor's, and it was kind of like it was like the Hellblade II of spicy chicken sandwich. Like I've thought differently about spicy chicken sandwiches since. Like I'm like wanting to drive out of the way to go get one. I'm like, dude, this is the bomb over here. I need more people to be like this. But like, yeah, Wendy's is all right. It's not like amazing, but it's better than Chick-fil-A's.
Yeah, I agree.
We
We don't have Zaxby's or Culver's out here, so
I'm gonna have to try Popeyes. I haven't tried Popeyes.
I love their chicken sandwich. They're spicy and their regular one's good.
I like Popeyes. Problem is, my Popeyes that's like near the house, ratchet as fuck. Like,
isn't that all Popeyes?
I'm sorry.
That's just all Popeyes.
Is it? No, I've been to decent Popeyes. This Popeyes,
that wasn't Popeyes.
You are guaranteed not to get everything you order. You are guaranteed. You are guaranteed that it will take 30 minutes.
Oh,
You're guaranteed that they'll ask you what you ordered when you get to the window to pay for it. Like they'll just lean out and be like, "Yo, what did you order?"
wow.
Like it's bad. It's like inmates running the asylum in there. So I don't go often, but I do get the hankering for red beans and rice every now and again. And it's like, how bad can you fuck that up? But I'll go get a spicy chicken sandwich for them. Oh, KFC has a decent. I don't like KFC anymore. I haven't for some time, but I got a chicken sandwich. Not like not their fried chicken. Their mac and cheese is shit. The mashed potatoes are gross. But the chicken sandwich I got some time ago, it was massive. It was huge, and it was pretty good.
I haven't had KFC in probably 10 years at this point.
I don't know if it was just because I was poor or if it was good. But when I was little, KFC was like a night out. Like ordering KFC was like, not a big deal, but like you were eating
It was a
good,
deal.
and I thought it was good. I was like, this shit is the best. And then
It
as I was
probably was
aged,
good back then.
yeah, it's shit now. Like it is literal garbage. Like it is gross. Like I'm not eating this.
I'm with you 100% because getting KFC used to be like, oh man, we getting
God,
KFC.
the
Let's
biscuits
go.
and the mashed
They
potatoes
got them
and gravy
chicken
and stuff.
littles.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
it. I don't know when that transition happened, but at some point along the way, I realized that KFC was terrible. I was like, this is awful.
I was gonna say the 90s, but that's when you were eating it. So
Yeah.
it was good in the 80s when I was
turn of the
young.
century, I was liking KFC.
But
And somewhere
I'll
in the
say-
late aughts, teens, it went to shit.
For me, it went to shit probably in like 99. That's like when
That's
we were just
when I'm
like,
thinking it was good. Yeah.
yeah.
And then
like,
sometime it went to, it's like, and I feel like the food was like food though. You know what I'm saying? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
yeah,
Like
there
the
was-
mashed
yeah.
potatoes were like mashed potatoes and the macaroni and cheese was macaroni and cheese. And
That was
now
like
it just
powder.
feels like easy mac and powdered and like it's not,
Mhm.
you know?
Yep. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've had. I mean, I feel like the last time I had KFC, I was still living in the Valley, which was quite some time ago at this point. And I think I was getting like the honey barbecue wings. I used to like getting those, but
Yeah.
nah, man, no KFC.
Yeah, and I'm not a snob for fast food. Obviously, I'm pretty fat. I'll fuck around with some fast food, but like KFC's a no for me
Yeah.
now. Like that's absolutely not.
Same. My wife was never a fan of KFC, so I'm basically not.
I
allowed
took
to
that
be a
chicken
fan of
sandwich
KFC.
because it was near where I was. That was it.
Mhm.
And the reason I ordered the chicken sandwich is because I went in there like I hate everything else on the menu. So like let's try, and I was surprised. Like the chicken sandwich was good, better than like Chick-fil-A.
I don't even know whether there's a KFC out here. Like I have to really think. Oh,
My wife loves Chick-fil-A. I honestly think the chicken sandwich is just kind of
yeah, it's
Average.
okay. I like.
yeah.
I
It's
like
like
their
it's
nugs.
okay. It's
I like
okay.
their nuggets. I'm not a big fan of their. I'm like their chicken sandwich. Like yeah,
I
okay.
get the spicy chicken deluxe with the pepper jack and the lettuce and tomato and stuff, and it's okay. It's not
It was
bad.
cool
It's not
when it was like the only thing that was doing a chicken sandwich like that. Now
correct.
there's better options.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of the Place of Video Games podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed your time and all of our ridiculous banter. If you have Game Pass, go play Hellblade 2. Make up your own
Play it.
mind. Play it. There's
Play it
no
for yourself.
reason not to. Just do it for yourself. Do it.
Don't listen to
All
everybody
right.
else.
Yeah.
Okay, tell Greg Miller to go fucking play Patapon.
Yeah, that's true. What I will say about him is he didn't like the first one. He hated the second one. All right,
Yeah.
cool. But still,
I'm
go
only
play
going off
Patapon,
the clip
Greg.
that was shared, but I was like, why are we listening? Go play Patapon. Okay, go put your Vita shirt on and go play Lumines. Okay,
Oh, Lumines was such a good game. I love
on Switch. It's nice on Switch too.
Yeah.
For anybody that doesn't
I never
know,
played
that was a
Switch.
funny Discord joke.
Yes.
Hope they know that.
Yeah. It's Discord, people.
I realize
You should
yeah,
go
we
there.
have listeners that don't
It's
go to the Discord.
funny.
They don't know. They're like, why
The,
is he
the
hate Greg
seven
Miller all the
understand. The seven know.
Yeah, the 7 get it.
All right. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, please play some video games.
Nobody's sleeping in the middle of the bed. The middle of the bed is only where you do the business. But when everybody's ready to sleep, it's the side of the bed that can't be beat. It's the middle of the bed where lovers meet. But when it comes time to slumber, it's the edges. Ooh, 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 the edges.